Okay.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Talk Gear, episode 21. And now today we have
My
the
age,
legendary
21.
Chris Wee. Yes, 21. Man, I always want to have you on the show. Thanks for coming,
Thank you,
Chris Wee.
Thomas.
And of course, since Chris is here, we're going to talk about a topic that, of course, is right around Chris Wee's alley as well. We're going to talk about classics today, right?
And yours as well, don't forget.
Welcome to Talk Gear, Chris Wee, and
Thank
welcome
you,
to
thank
Car
you.
Guys Talk Show. And how's your week been, man?
Boring. But we do things to keep ourselves entertained, right? So
Yeah.
I've been cleaning up my den, tending the yard, cold starting my cars, and I haven't been shooting anything. I know you've been cleaning your cars as well, Thomas.
I've been cleaning some of my friends' cars. Trying to whip up different recipes. So, trying to keep the creative juices flow.
Yeah.
Well,
Sadly, I can't send you any of my cars to clean because I've seen the way you detail your cars. It's quite legendary already.
Hey, I like to detail the brick wagon or the new paint, right? Oh man, that would look so good.
Yeah.
Anyways,
the wagon's paint, yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, guys, welcome. If you're here, please say hi in the chat. We've got 50 plus people watching. Please say hi.
Already.
Yeah.
Hello,
50 plus people
everyone.
watching. Yeah.
Hey, I recognize
Harry
some of
here.
these guys.
Stephen, Derek, Gary Chin, hey Gary, hey Jared, hey Kenneson, hey, good to see you again, Kenneson. So,
hey Jensen,
while everyone is coming in, let me quickly introduce Chris Wee. So, I met Chris Wee through Evo Club. Now, we went to Evo Enduro 2019 together, but I was so sick in the toilet and I was having stomach ache. I barely saw.
I saw last day.
Yeah, last day. I saw glimpses of your E30, right? The
that time I was having the E30.
Yeah. So I didn't really get to talk to you, but the time I really got to talk to you was in Tanah Air last year during
Yes.
So I made a joke with you, and back then I wasn't into classics yet. I would only entertain the thought of a classic. So I said, what if I take an E30, remove all the engine, and put in a battery inside? And then Chris said, "Nice knowing you," and he walked away.
And I walked away.
It's a joke, right? It's a joke. Yeah. Nice knowing you, and then walk away. It was a joke, right? I just laughed. But we became friends since then. Back then I had never touched yet the beauty of owning a classic. So it was just a comment, and I always wanted E30. I never really talked about it, but they say, okay, but driving a C43. And then since then we've did many drives, and Chris is a friend, and he is one of the reasons why I got the E30 as well. So that's why he's here today.
Hey, Bobby.
And Chris, want to introduce yourself a little bit more? That's how I got to know Chris.
Okay. Well, sorry, I walked away when you said you wanted to put an electric motor into an E30.
I know. I knew it would piss you off a little bit.
But no, I came back, right? I did come back because I knew it.
It was a car guy thing,
It's a car guy thing. Yeah, you got to take the piss out of each other once in a while. So anyway, hello everybody. Yes, I see a lot of very familiar faces. Names here. Thank you for joining us. Motor you don't know, I'm Chris Wee. I've been in the motoring line for going on 3 decades already. Started in the very early 90s in motoring journalism, and now because of MCO and EMCO, I've not been able to do any test drives or shoots out there and everything. So this is one way that I'm actually exploring different avenues to communicate my passion for automotive. My whole life has been surrounded by automotive. Very passionate about the industry. My late father once said that if I was as passionate about computers as I was about automotive, I'd be Bill Gates of Malaysia already by this time. But unfortunately, I went into automotive and not computers like my cousin, and that's why he's driving an M3 and I'm driving a Honda Accord.
What happened if you went into a program? You could have created Pintu, not Windows, Pintu.
Pintu Malaysia. Yes.
Pintu Malaysia. No, just kidding. But yeah, the reason that I'm very happy to have you today on this, especially this topic, because you're looking at the automotive industry for decades. So you've seen cars that had like real value, cars that hyped up value, cars that come and go. You've seen it all, right? You're probably reviewing cars when I'm not even alive yet, right? So
no, I'm not that old. Okay, I'm old, but I'm not that old yet, just yet.
Okay.
You might have been in diapers, Thomas.
Your experience, right? You've seen a lot in the industry, and I think I think that's why the best person to talk about this topic is you, because you got involved with cars so early. You get to see the whole progression of cars.
Yes.
Yeah. So I don't mean to say that you're old. You know, you're young at heart.
Young at heart. That's important.
Young at heart, not young at heart.
A number. Really, age is just a number. Unless it comes to cars, because then it means something. But
that means something.
Human age is just a number. Yeah, really. 40 is the new 20.
All right. But anyways, if you haven't, most of you already, if you haven't, please subscribe to Chris's channel on YouTube. Chris Wee Automotive. Go YouTube, just look for Chris Wee.
Thank you.
He reviews tons of cars. He documents his journey on his owning new, taking care of new old classics. You know,
sort of.
New old classics. Old school classics. Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna dive deeper into the topic of classics. We're gonna talk a little bit more about what makes a classic epic, because it's something really interesting. Because I feel that if you are just viewing classics from the sidelines, it's like okay, but when you get involved, now it's a whole different thing.
Oh yeah, so, definitely.
So we're going to talk more about what makes classics amazing. I'm a big fan of it now, thanks to you.
Yes. Good to hear.
We'll talk about the classic car experience. We're going to talk also about what are the possible classics. Some of you, look, if you're a car enthusiast, you must have entertained the thought of a classic. We'll talk about some of the cars that may be worth considering if it's your first
not
classic.
Even classics, but old school, old school cars that are from the 90s, because classics are like really old, but even old school cars, if you've ever had the notion of, getting into an old school classic, that's different category there. Slightly newer than a classic, definitely newer than vintage. So please proceed, my friend.
Yeah, old school. We're going to talk about like what are cars worth looking at. And just like what Alex, big shout out to Alex. He has a show every Wednesday. He jams with the Alex STM Rock.
Awesome show. Live music,
really good singing. All is gold. All is gold indeed.
Absolutely.
Okay. So what's going to happen right now is going to go for a break. But before that, please tag your friends. Some of my friends are just bored at home. Hey, tag them. Have a good chat in the comment section. A lot of people are saying hi already. Hi, you're fun.
Yes.
Raja,
many.
Kane, Bobby. All right, Bobby.
Bobby's here.
Benson. There's so many guys over here. Say hi in the chat. Let us know if you're here. Let us know where you're tuning in from. And tag a friend and feel free to ask any questions during the whole show. We'll try our best to answer. And hang out in the comment sections. Feel free to connect with other car guys. The reason why I do talk here is so that other car guys can hang out with each other, right? And that's what we want to do. Okay.
Wait, Mike, what's up?
Mike hey, Mike Yap. Whoa. Okay. So yes, we're gonna go on the break. Now, after we come back from the break, we're gonna do something a little different. So I want all of you to guess how many cars are in Chris Wee's care right now. Okay, let's do a quick guess. Let's have a little bit of fun. We're gonna go for a quick break for our sponsors. But I want you to think like, how many cars is Chris Wee taking care right now? Because he's a custodian of some.
Wait, how many cars do I own right now? Right now.
Okay. Not before. Before it will take forever to count.
you will be here until 3 a.m. Don't.
Yes.
So just right now, just right now. Okay.
At this present moment, how many cars does Chris Wee own? I'd like you to just give a guess in the chat, and then we'll come back. All right. So we're gonna hear a bit from our sponsors. Get your friends, get some drinks, take a guess.
Yes,
and I will see you in a while.
Saved about $500.
You save about 1,000 plus.
To work out cheaper for me.
3,000-4,000.
215, even more.
Facebook for 200 plus. $400 of savings.
And yes, that's Evo Club Insurance, guys. Save up to 40% of your insurance premium. And hey, if you're not driving around, and if you're like Chris, you own multiple cars, right? And of course, it's still within the age gap of qualification of Evo Club insurance. Check it out, man. Right? Check it out. Check it out. Okay. So
Quite impressive.
there's a lot of guesses over here, Chris. Okay, let's see.
A lot of them got it right, actually. Very impressive.
Wow. They must be following your YouTube channels.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope so. Very impressive.
You got a strong fan base, right? Okay, so why don't you tell us how many cars have you is currently under your care? All right.
Well, let's just say if I had to use only one car a month, I'm covered for the whole year. Yes, I have 12 cars in my care.
Wow,
actually.
12 cars.
Yeah, but the thing is, the best thing is, or maybe the worst thing is, they're never all here at the same time. Yeah, so many of you got 12 right, so congratulations. Yeah, I've got 12 cars. I don't suppose you want me to go through all of them.
Yeah. Oh, why don't you tell us some of the cars? Okay. Okay. Just
You're not gonna believe this, but I actually had to write it down because I couldn't remember off the top of my head. So yes, I have a list of cars.
Okay, let's see how many what cars you have, because some of them are really, really sweet.
Okay, I tell you what, I'll just go through it real quick, because if I elaborate on each car, it's gonna take
No,
half an hour.
no elaboration allowed.
No elaboration, right? Just the 12, right?
Yeah.
Proton Targa, Proton Waja, Toyota Corona, Fiat Punto, Nissan Sentra, Mercedes W126, Alfa Romeo Alfetta, Volvo Brickwagon, Honda Accord SM4, Daihatsu Charade, Ford Laser 1.6, Mitsubishi Pajero. 12. All in one breath.
The wild card is the Mitsubishi Pajero, which I
I
like.
miss the Pajero. Yeah, I like it
so much
too.
memories in that car. My dad had that car. So much memories in that car.
I bought it because I wanted something different. I've got too many cars. So Thomas, I bought it because I wanted something different. And I used to be very into 4x4. What? Sorry?
It's a proper SUV, not the
with high and low 4-wheel drive. And I managed to do a couple of videos before the lockdown happened.
Yeah.
And it performed really well for a really old SUV with 4x4. So I wanted some different kind of content because too many cars. And I was looking around, I was scoping around. Toyota Land Cruisers are just too bloody expensive right now. I don't know why. Suzuki Jimnys have gone through the roof. And I used to own a Suzuki Jimny, and I should have kept it because I sold it for 8,000 ringgit,
cute.
and now it's worth about 25,
So
30,
cute.
35, 40.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
So that's why I bought the Pajero. Still very capable. And you want to guess the selling point?
What's that?
Shock absorbers in the seats, in the front seats.
What?
Yeah. The
I didn't know
Pajero
that.
has shock absorbers in the front seat. So if you go over a speed hump, right, you actually
You feel like
like nothing. If you go over a speed hump really hard, you just zoom, because there's shock absorbers under the seats. That's why I got that one. That was one of the main selling points. Plus, it was cheap. It's crazy how cheap it is.
Benson says cars enough for all horoscopes.
That's true.
Enough for all horoscopes.
Maybe I should name my cars after the horoscope. Yeah.
Never name them because you get too attached.
Yeah. Yes, exactly right, Thomas. That's why I've stopped naming my cars, because you get too attached.
Yeah. All right, let's just quick one. Quick shout out to Derek.
Derek's here. Yeah.
Yeah, he got his Corolla SE AE92 from you last year. Yeah.
No, it's not my car. Derek was inspired by what I did with my
inspired.
when I had my Corolla AE92, which was sold to one of my viewers. But during that time, of course, I was making videos of it, and he got inspired by it, and he went out there and he bought his own Corolla, which is great, and now it's in really good condition. Yeah, I'm very happy when I hear stuff like that. Very, very happy when I hear stuff like that.
I remember when I got my E30, you were like, "Oh, let's do a meetup." Yes. Thomas's E30.
And we met up at A&W or something.
Yeah, no, we went up at the Evo Club clubhouse.
The clubhouse. The clubhouse.
And it was the morning I got it. I sent a text to you guys and like, let's meet up tonight. I'm like, huh? Sure.
Yep.
Like, I'm not even sure the car will. I just drive over there. You're so happy. I remember that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. See, happiness.
Yeah, happiness, man. Oh my god, that the E30. Every time I think about selling it, and then I get back in my car and I drive it, I'm like, no way. Exactly. I'm selling it. Every time I entertain the thought of selling it, when I drive it, it just goes away.
Absolutely right. It happens to me all the time as well. Really.
Yeah, it's so different. It's so epic.
Yep.
Anyways, let's go on to the questions. But let's see a question over here. What do you think of the Volvo P1800 before we
Oh,
go
the
on?
P1800. The Volvo
Yeah.
P1800 was actually made famous by the Saint on a TV show. If you remember, a long, long time ago, there was a TV show called The Saint. And who was it? Roger Moore, not Ian Ogilvy, that was the later guy. Roger Moore actually drove a Volvo P1800. And they're very, very nice classics, but they're very, very expensive now.
Yeah, probably quite a different car, different difficulty level to keep the car running as well. Yeah,
Six figures right now to get.
Yeah. Beautiful car, curvy, like wow.
Yes, with fintails at the back, very gorgeous, really, really gorgeous.
Yeah. Okay, let's get back to the topic today.
Oh dear.
All right.
Okay.
Classic cars. What makes? I mean, you're a guy that if I say, if there's anyone that will kena racun or racun all the way already, or racun you, about classics is none other than Chris Wee.
Racun itu benar. Hashtag.
Kadok, shout out to Kadok. Right? So what is it? Because anyone who's watching this show, if you're a car enthusiast, you must entertain a thought of a classic. You entertain the thought, or you've really went for it. So let me know in the comments below, what cars did you entertain? Shout out in the comments below. But I want to ask Chris, what makes it so epic? Because it's not, that's all performance. Like classics never really measure up in performance. I mean, some do, but not all the time.
Not all the time.
But what is it? Is it the looks? Is it the heritage? Is it the brownie points you get from your friends? Is it nostalgia? What do you think makes classics such an epic thing? Because for me, it opened up a whole new world for me for car as a car enthusiast. So in your experience, what do you think it is? What makes it so epic?
I think it's all of the above. What you just said, for one thing, yes. The answer to your question is yes, all the above. And also, you know what? It's so easy to buy a new car these days, and then just buy it and use it and pay for it monthly and all that. But I think there's something very special about buying something for cash, because you can't get loans on classics unless you take out a personal loan or something. You can't get a high purchase loan. So this is your hard-earned money. It's a lump sum of money. Doesn't matter what's the lump sum, whatever you can afford. But you buy this car and suddenly it's instantly in your name. Okay, it's not like a higher purchase loan where the car is not really yours until you finish paying up for it. And sometimes the bank even holds the grant and the hak milik dituntut oleh bank, whatever. Instantly, the car is in your name. It's yours. It's all yours. It's completely yours. It's in your name. And I personally feel that makes a very big difference. When you have something that's in your name, you 100% own it. It's yours completely. The ownership experience becomes a little bit more different, because let's face it, classic cars, old school cars, you can't buy them new anymore. So you've got a piece of heritage, where somebody who buys a new car out there, let's say a Myvi or an Azia or Ativa or whatever it is, everybody's got one. Throw a stone, you might hit another one. But when you own a classic, this is yours. This is your own thing, and there's not many of them out there. So as far as the ownership experience is concerned, I fervently believe that owning a classic is far more rewarding than owning something new, really.
And of course, it's more than just the. I think what you're trying to say is that more than just driving the car, buying a classic is a whole ownership.
Whole ownership experience. Because put it this way: you buy a new car, you drive it every day. It's the same car. Yeah. You drive a classic, you will find that every time you drive it, you will find something else new about it. Something else crops up. Sometimes it's a problem, but we don't call them problems. It's character. And if a classic, if a classic leaks in your driveway,
comes from different
depending, yeah. And if a classic car leaks in your driveway, and it definitely will, it's just marking its territory. It's not a leak. It's just letting you know this is my territory, and that's all it is. It's an emotional. It's very hard to explain, because it's an emotional experience. You can only understand it once you've owned a classic as opposed to a brand new car. And Thomas, you can actually feel that, because as opposed to the car you drove for Evo Enduro when I met you, which was relatively a brand new car, versus the E30 which you have now, and also the classic Mini, the ownership experience, the driving experience is totally different, isn't it? I mean, you cannot compare.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I actually was planning to own the C43 and the Spider. That was in the plan. The Spider was taking some time and stuff. And then I remember, of course, becoming friends with you. And then you always bring different classics. I was like, whoa, what is this Punto? So cute, you know. And then our friend CL brings in the M3635 CSI,
Oh, yeah.
that beautiful Alfa Romeo, you know. And I look at it, I'm like, they're so good looking, you know. And you know, you walk past like a car meet, right? There's Ferraris, there's whatever cars in Mercedes, CC whatever, C63, you know, and they're all great and good. But suddenly when you see an Alfa Romeo, and then you're like, oh my God, what is this? And then you start running over there, and like, is this car moving? Like, it's moving, you know? And then you see a Punto. It's like, hey, what's this Punto? It's so cute.
What the hell is this? Yeah,
you know,
what is this?
There is a charm. And then what really hit me after talking to you was I was talking to I was having brunch with Roger, CL, and Adrian. And then Adrian, you know, he drives fast cars. He drives modern cars.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Like me, you know, like I had a M635i, M235i, had the C43, and then he has a 987 Boxsters, 997, 911, W126, W205s, and then he sat in his Volvo 240, and I sat next to him and he's driving me. And then he's have this smile on his face is ridiculous. Like the way he's smiling. And I'm like, why is this idiot smiling driving this car? And then I asked him, he's like, bro, I love this car, man. It's so. And then when we started hitting the freeway, he wasn't going fast, he was just cruising. And I was like, man, I don't even get that for my 300,000 ringgit C43. I don't even get it at all. And I was like, that's it. I was like,
there you go.
I was like, I'm going to get my E30. That's it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to get an E30.
And I'm so glad you did.
And you're right. The whole experience starts all the way from looking for the car.
Yes.
Like searching for it. It's an ownership experience. The C43, for example, like I'm not demeaning any modern cars. I still like modern cars. There's still a place in my heart, right?
Me too. Yeah.
But this the ownership experience of the classic comes from the buying process. You look at the owner, you talk to the owner, and you can start already guessing like how the car is going to be like based on the owner, you know.
Yeah, the way that's why I like to buy old school classics and classics cars from owners and not used car dealers, because the way they talk about their car, you know already if it's been well taken care of.
Yeah,
things like that.
You know, I someone told me like, hey, get a E46. So I no more old school, right? So I went up to a used car sales, and then someone said, hey, check this E46, and look at the sales guy. He knows jack crap about the car. He knows nothing about the car.
They just want to get rid of the car. They just want to sell it. That's all.
Yeah, and I looked at him and was like, bro, you know anything about it? Sorry, bro. Honestly, classic not my thing. I was like, okay, at least it's honest. You know?
He's honest.
I don't know anything about this car. You tell me Golf R, you tell me Golf GTI, no problem. A Audi A5, A4, I can tell you everything. This one I don't know anything.
This one I don't know. My boss take one. I don't know about this car.
He's like, bro, you get. I give you 3,000 ringgit discount. You buy also, no problem. But you're right. But I think like I would start with saying that the classic experience. I agree with you. It's a different experience. Just from buying already, it just it's completely different already. I agree with you.
I've always said that the fun is in the hunt. When you're hunting for it, that's the best part. When you go and check out different models, you know, the ones that are for sale here and there. The fun is definitely in the hunt. And then once you've procured it, one of the things I love most is that I'm not paying for it every month. That's one thing for as far as high purchases. You're not paying for it every month. Now, just imagine this, right? Our scenario right now, the EMCO, which apparently is going to be lifted tomorrow. You're paying every month for a car that you're not using. It's just sitting out there because you can't drive anywhere. Now, all my cars are paid up. And my theory is that once it's all paid up, the best thing is that if you have to spend anything every month on the car, it's just going for the betterment of the car. It's just making the car better. And you don't do everything at once, unless, of course, you have very deep pockets. You do a little bit. And you actually appreciate the improvements, the enhancements.
Yeah.
Slowly. You know, if you do everything at once, it's no fun already. And the process is what makes it awesome.
Yeah, it's true, man. I mean, when you say my goosebumps came up because secretly I'm delaying my spray painting process on my E30 because I'm like, wow, if after I'm done with this, then I'll do the upholstery and then I'm done. No, I'm gonna slow it down.
Slow it down. Exactly, because once everything is done already, like my Proton Saga, for example, my 35-year-old Proton Saga, once everything is done already, boring lah. What to do? Just drive.
I think that's the thing you said in the chat one time. You said, "You're never done with a classic. You're never. There's no end." To it. Yeah,
Because
there's
one
always
drive-
something better.
Yes. One drive after, I don't know, a couple of weeks. Hey, what's that sound? Let's go check out that sound. Hey, ayo, did something wrong here. Got to do that. So it's always an engagement process, and it never gets boring. It really never gets boring.
I think this is something good for our viewers. It means that if you want to get a classic, expect to participate with the car. You participate with all areas, not just driving, not just driving it out. Looking at you participate with taking care of the car. So if you're thinking about classics, yes, some people are like, oh, I'm afraid that some cars will be problematic. You have to go to the workshop, it break down. And look, I get it, because most people, I was afraid. I was afraid to get into classics because that's my number one issue. And then I asked Roger, I asked CL, and I asked you, Adrian. Everyone was like, either you participate with it or you don't, right? If you don't want, then don't do it. If you want to participate, go for it.
Yes.
And it says if you participate with it, if you're happy, good. If you're not happy with it, don't do it, right?
Don't do it. I'll give you an example. When I was looking around for another car, after I can't remember what car it was, but this was in the 90s. Yeah. One of the tricks I used to do was actually go and look for a mechanic or a workshop, a reputable workshop, before I bought the car. Classic example was, right? Yeah. Classic example was the Citroen ZX. Yeah. Which actually, Mike just said thank you for the Citroen ZX, which he bought for Isaac after I went to see it. I'm very happy Mike bought the car, actually, because it was one of the best examples I've seen in a very long time. Specialty cars like a Citroen or a Peugeot and stuff like that, it's good to actually, or a Saab even, it's good to actually have contacts where you actually know that this person is very good with this car, and if anything happens, they can do it. Because the last thing you want to do is drive a classic into any Tom, Dick, and Harry workshop and say, I don't know what's wrong with it, fix it. Oh, that is like, yes. Sadly, yes, there will be people
and sometimes they innocently do it as well because they don't know what's going on. They'll just keep changing parts until they solve the problem. Yeah.
Exactly, and that's why I like old school mechanics, because they actually try and fix before they replace. A lot of workshops out there, Thomas, these days are not workshops; they are parts replacement enterprise. You just go in there and they just change all the parts. You tell them there's something, a noise coming from something, they just change parts until they've eliminated that problem. So it's too much trial and error, and that's why classics have a very bad reputation insofar as ownership is concerned. You're not buying a junk. You need to find somebody reputable who can actually take care of the car for you. Because if you simply go somewhere, I mean, come on, businesses are business. 90% out there, they're just trying to make money. Okay, and if you don't know what's wrong with your car, chances are they're probably going to try and pull a fast one on you. So it's always advisable.
And that's why it's important that I realized that since I own classics, my understanding of mechanical parts of cars has greatly increased.
Right? Yeah, you learn as you go. And when you find that reputable mechanic, don't just leave the car there and run away. Talk to him, ask him what he's doing, because you learn so much from that.
And my mini specialist. He's so happy that he will take me around. He explain. He takes another car, open up the thing. It's like, look at this, look at that, look at this. Look at that.
And he's the guy that immediately offered to buy it from you, right?
No. He told me someone wanted to buy because I parked it over there, and someone said, hey, can I buy this? I said, no, I'm not even done with this car.
That's how you know you got a damn good deal when somebody immediately offered to buy. Yep, there you go.
I asked him, how much can I sell the car for? And he said this thing and made me, I was like, I want this mechanic to take care of my car. He said, like, Thomas, this kind of car is very simple one. Cantonese, we say, you if you get the shock, then you ask 100K also, the person will pay. Okay? If the person no shock, you put whatever price they think expensive. I say, that's true. The price, very hard to say one, Thomas. You see this mini pickup truck, people buy for 95,000 ringgit. They want, shock, 95,000 also did.
Yeah, you go.
Say, no shock. You ask 30K, they say also expensive. Classic car is like
it's willing. It's always willing buyer, willing seller. Because I get a lot of comments on my channel. People asking me, what's this worth? What's this car worth? What's that car worth? You know what? When it's already fully paid up and you can't get a loan for it, it's very much willing buyer, willing seller. Somebody might open a price that you find is ridiculous, but then you look into it and you're like, oh wow, this guy really spent a lot of money on this car, a lot of time, a lot of effort. Time and effort you cannot buy back. Parts you replace, maybe you can get back. But you know, the amount of time and effort he has put into it, maybe that's why it's worth twice the other one at a used car dealer that you have no idea what has happened to
What the
this
hell's
car.
going on?
Yeah. So you go and buy the half-priced one, and the next thing you know, you have spent more than what you would have spent if you had just bought the better one from this guy who has taken such good care of it. That's why one of my rules when it comes to actually purchasing a car out there, I don't lowball. Times are bad right now. It's a buyer's market. Honestly, it's a buyer's market. There's a lot of cars out there because people are disposing. They need cash to buy food, for God's sake, Thomas. And so to lowball somebody when they're you know, desperate to try and get rid of a car, it's very, very bad. You know, so don't do that. And then later go and brag to your friends like, oh, I got this car so cheap, man. The guy wanted 10K, I got it for 5. Come on, you know, that's not something to brag about. You don't know how much he has spent, you know, the effort and time to make the car the way it is. So I mean,
a lot of people say like E30 sound okay. E30 is on top of my head all the time. They're like, oh, this E30 came out 40,000, 50,000, 60,000, and say, oh, it's too expensive. It's too expensive. Like they put snarky comments on those Facebook groups. Like, oh, you know, like dream on, and then and then there was I look at someone because I know there was one I know a guy. He's currently driving a air-cooled Porsche now, but he sold his E30 sedan for 60K. Wow. And he showed me after he sold it for 60K for exactly what he asked for. He showed me the picture, a close-up picture of his cars. His car is like, there is like, for me, if I buy 30K, I will spend another 25 to 30K plus all the times and all the effort in taking to the workshop, coordinating everything, finding the parts, finding all the rubber bits, because finding this done rubber bits takes forever, right? You got to you have to call people up all the way in Germany or in Turkey or somewhere, Indonesia. So I tell you what, I say that 60K is a reasonable price for all the work. You know,
willing buyer, willing seller, man.
It's a car that you roll up, you know, next to somebody who used to own an E30 when I tell you that it looks exactly how it came out from the showroom. You know, 60K is a reasonable price. I think it's very hard to say based on a model price. You got to see the condition.
You have to see the condition. You have to see. That's why, like I said, unlike newer cars, classics, it's willing buyer, willing seller because you have to see the condition. You can pick up, this is a car you're interested in. You can pick up a W123 Mercedes Benz for about 5K. Or you can pick up one for 20K. You see the disparity in price. Why is there a disparity in price like this? Obviously, because the 20K one has had a lot of work done to it, a lot of time and passion and enthusiasm poured into it, as opposed to the 5K one, which is sitting under a mango tree covered in sap. And then you're going to spend another 20K doing it up. And so it's now the price of the car is 25K. You could have bought the 20K one, much better condition, all done up, 5K less.
Correct.
So always look into it first before you say, oh, yo, so expensive. You know, why so expensive? Why your car? There you go.
I mean, I think that's very, very important. Like what RS is saying here, there's a fine line between negotiating and lowballing. A lot of people don't differentiate.
Absolutely. He's right.
I think there's a form of respect, even if you negotiate.
It is very much so. If you don't respect the process or even the vehicle or the seller and all that, then it's very hard because my tagline, well, not tagline, but my philosophy is what I sell for is usually not as important as who I sell to. I want my cars to go to a good home, you know, somebody who's going to take care of it, because I pour a lot of time and effort and passion and enthusiasm into my cars, making sure that they're as perfect as possible and that I have a good heart selling it, you know, and it's not gonna the four wheels are not gonna fall off at the first corner, that sort of thing. On the flip side, of course, you do have sellers out there who are trying their luck. The try my luck sellers who actually post cars for sale that are just ridiculous. You can tell if it's just ridiculous. If the price is just ridiculous, you know that seller is just trying his luck for a fast buck. Sort of thing.
And you know what, like that's funny you say, and this is for all the viewers, perhaps for those who haven't owned classics or want to own classics, you realize that the person who sells the classic cares more about who they sell to than the money.
Absolutely.
Like E30, they turned on the offer because they wanted to take the engine out and put something in. He's like, nope, end of deal.
No.
The my Mini owner wanted to interview me.
Interview you for a job.
Like you want to see that whether I'll take care of his car or not. Will it be a garage queen? Would it go out? Would it be driven? You
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
that was
true.
important for him. You know, and I was
That's true.
surprised. And you know, it's a whole new world. But if you come in guns blazing, low balling, I mean, forget about it. You know,
No, yeah, I
forget
would not
about it.
sell. I would not
Yeah.
sell it. Yeah, I would not
I
sell
think I
either.
think I think a good tip for the classics is like get to know the owners, be friends with them.
Yes,
You know,
talk to them. Yeah.
and those guys become my lifetime friends. My E30 came on the first Top Gear to talk about how he restored many cars,
nice,
you know,
nice.
and
Yep.
that's really fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's look at the comments over here. I mean, there's a lot
Sure,
talk
man.
about classics.
Yeah, a lot.
But
Sorry.
I'll come and ask you something later, Chris, about like
Uh-oh.
what is the modern what does the modern car missing that the classic has? I'll come back to that later. Other than the ownership experience, like in the driving experience, I'll come back to that later on.
Okay.
But let's see in the comments.
Yep.
We have so many comments. Oh my god, we're
Yeah, a lot,
so far
quite a lot.
behind. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. If you have anything, you just jump up there. Let me know if there's anything. Let's see.
I'm
There's a
scrolling as
question
well.
coming from Teotl.
This is Theophilus. Theophilus Chin.
Theophilus. Okay.
Yes,
I'm
Theophilus.
strange to think that that one potential classic here is the late 1980s Mitsubishi Galant.
Oh, the VR4. This is the
Yeah. So what do you think about this car, man? Yeah.
The Galant VR4 is actually very, very nice. It's the 4-wheel drive version. It's their hot model. It's their hot model of the Galant. I think I'm not sure if it was a homologation model because they used it for rallying. But if you can find one in good condition, and this is across the board kind of advice, yeah. These kind of cars are very specialty cars. So, and Mitsubishis especially are not the easiest cars in the world to find parts for. But you know that should not be a deterrent, because the advent of the internet has made it so easy. When I was restoring my Mercedes W126, it was the first time I ever used the internet because I could not find the part that I wanted anymore in Malaysia. The whole of Malaysia didn't have this. So I finally got it from Istanbul, Turkey. And it was actually the body liner that goes all the way around the car, not just on the doors and on the front and rear panels. Yeah, the body liner goes the whole way around the car. One whole set, 660 ringgit, including shipping, which was, I had to look at the price twice because that was a lot cheaper than they were when they were new, because they were extremely expensive, these body liners. So again, when it comes to old school and classic car buying, I have found that the interior is often more important than the exterior. Exterior is surprisingly easy to do unless it's finding those kind of trim parts for a W115. Finding interior trim parts is the most difficult. So try and get a car that has the best interior possible. Go and see a few. Don't be shy. Get one with the best interior possible, because I found that through my experience, restoring an interior is a lot more difficult than the exterior. So that's one good tip that you can use.
Oh yeah. And because it's not so much about the leather or this upholstery.
No, leather can be rewrapped. I'm talking about things like aircon vents, little knobs for the thing like that, the stock. Yeah, little buttons, small pieces.
It's a freaking button.
Exactly. I tell you something now that the whole of Malaysia does not have. Nissan Sentra, 1990 Nissan Sentra door rubbers. But I've got to go overseas. I've not been able to find that. It's just not available anywhere. But I enjoy the hunt. I mean, maybe that's a little bit. You need to enjoy the hunt.
This is something that we'd like the viewers to see. Like that part of owning the classic is that yes, the car does need parts, but
and
you have to
sometimes
hunt for it. It's not like you tell the shop, hey, can you order for me? No such thing. You know, like no. But that's this is a warning for everybody, or sort of like a preempt that this is the fun part. This is the fun part.
Supposed to be the fun part, because once you get it, and this has happened to me several times, once you get that part that you've not been able to find, I tell you, it's like winning the lottery. It's like winning the lottery, because it's just such an amazing feeling. Finally,
I haven't encountered so much difficulty before. Like so far, just my hardest was getting get a good deal for my because I'm going to be spraying my car, so I need new rubbers for my windscreen and the weather shield.
Yeah,
and I got the windscreen. I was like, yeah. Then I called out my paint shop guy. He's like, do you get the one inside? I said, what do you mean inside? There's a rubber inside. Weather shield. I'm like, what's a weather shield? I was like looking at oh my god, I gotta look for a weather shield. But
a lot of this will actually put people off. Honestly, a lot of it, and I don't blame them, because it is not easy, and it takes a lot of hunting. And I'll give you an example. I was restoring a Toyota Celica, the ST.
Really?
Yeah, the Toyota Celica, the one with the Dragon Celica, and I was having so much trouble getting parts for it, because I decided to do a bare metal restoration, which means you strip out the whole car, everything until it's just
Engine out, everything.
everything, engine out and everything. I did that before realizing just how difficult it is to get some of the parts, and it was taking so long that I was getting so disheartened. Somebody actually came along and wanted to trade with me. He said, "I'll take the Celica off your hands with, just like this, and would you like a BMW 6 Series?" So I was like,
That's how you get your 635 CSI, right?
That's how the second one. That's the second one. The
the red one.
633 CSI. Well, they were both red. The 635 CSI was red. The 633 CSI was red. So I said, yeah, okay, because that car was buy and drive. My car was in pieces. So okay, let's do it. I don't know why he wanted to let go of that car. Only till after, because the 633 CSI is based on the BMW 5 Series E12 chassis. Parts specific. Those are the two most terrifying words that you can hear when you're just restoring a classic. Parts specific, which means the parts in that car were specifically for that model. I could not get 635 CSI parts to put into a 633 CSI. I don't know why BMW did this, but they did. And that's one car that almost bankrupted me. So when somebody came along and offered me a decent sum of money, I let it go. Because there are some cars out there that you need very deep pockets to restore. That's one of them. Yeah, Jaguar E-types, Jaguar XJs, stuff like Daimlers. You need deep pockets. Don't forget. Yeah.
So later on in the show, I'm gonna ask Chris like what are the maybe 5 cars to consider if you're getting to, doesn't mean that have to be classic, old school 90s classics. So we're gonna talk about those that maybe if you're first time getting into it, those are maybe the few things that you can warm yourself into. And ask Chris, we asked like, what do you think about E30? Is like, it's still in the borderline of okay. It's not super difficult. It's still okay, right?
And my suggestions are, of course, going to be old school within a certain budget. Because the other day I had somebody come online and ask me what I thought about a used F430 Ferrari, and my immediate reaction was, "Dude, you're on the wrong channel, man. Don't ask me that." Because I have no idea.
You can hear Darren from Auto Dealer.
Yes. Or even you, maybe you.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Don't.
Because Darren was like asking before. It's like, it will cost as much as the car. I'm like, okay, thanks. Anyways, so I want to ask a question before we go on the break, which is this. So I think this is something that we both can answer quite enthusiastically. What is this is by no means saying modern cars are bad. It's just this distinguishing factor. What makes a classic? What is missing in a modern car that the classic has that just makes you? Because I met some people who own like Panameras and 911s, and then he drives a Fiat Coupe, and it's like, oh my god, this is the best car in my life, like. But so what is it? Would you say like what that makes a classic? So
you want me to go first?
Yeah, you go first. You go first.
Okay, all right. As you know, as far as my job is concerned, I test a lot of new cars, and I'm not no way saying that all the new cars that I test are not good. Okay, new cars are great, but why have I gone so classic, so old school, when there are so many nice new cars? Yeah, my personal choice. Okay, for one reason is because I get to review most of the new cars that come out. Why should I buy a new car? I mean, I'm gonna drive it anyway, and knowing me, I'm probably going to get bored of it after 6 months or even less if I buy a new car. One of the things that I have found insofar as testing a new car and then jumping into one of my old school cars to drive home after I've returned the new car is driver engagement in terms of how you feel when you're driving an old school car. I've always said this, cars are getting very clever and cars are doing a lot more for you these days insofar as the driving is concerned, we've got lane departure warning, we've got front collision alert, we've got self-driving cars, we've got steering wheels that actually turn for you when you're going through a corner, automatic headlights, automatic wipers, so much is being done for you. And these are all wonderful assistance systems, I think some people forget they're just assistance systems. You are actually supposed to be driving the car, but these days, new cars, and even something as not basic, but introductory, let's say Perodua Ativa, for example, is doing so much for you insofar as the driving is concerned, that I think we have lost the feeling of what it's actually like to drive. You drive a car. These days, cars are driving you. You're just like almost like a passenger. The car is doing so much for you and I don't feel there's enough driver engagement. And I'm not talking about steering feel. I'm not talking about feedback, response, torque, acceleration, whatever. I'm just talking about the actual driving feel. It feels very sedated. It feels very anesthetized, for want of a better word. But then I jump into one of my old school cars, and there's so much driver engagement. My Alfetta, for example, I did a video the other day, and I took my a long time ago, when we were still allowed to drive, I took my hands off the wheel for a split second to. I talk with my hands a lot. I'm sure you know. Maybe I'm a little bit Italian. I talk about my hair with my hands. If I don't use my hands, you don't know what I'm saying. Eh? So I talk with my hands a lot, and even on camera. And I took my hands off the wheel for a split second, and my car almost killed me. It was like, no, put your hands back on the wheel, you idiot. You don't. I'm gonna kill you. And yeah, that's how it is.
You pay attention to me, I'm going to kill you.
I'm going to kill you if you don't pay attention to your drive.
I'm going to make you a pasta.
Do you know that the classic and old school Alfa Romeos did not come with cup holders on purpose? Because you're not even supposed to grab a drink and while you're driving, you know, whether it's a Coke or 100 plus. That's why the cars didn't come with cup holders. Alfa Romeo said, when you drive, you're supposed to concentrate on your drive. So even cup holders were not allowed. And now we've got cars out there with 9 cup holders. 9 cup holders.
What car has 9 cup holders?
Go check it out. There are cars out there.
I mean, I still appreciate the cup
holders.
holder because on a long journey you still have a coffee.
Yes, but 9. I don't even have 1 in the Alfetta, really. Because
so you say
you're supposed to engage.
The full engagement, like the requirement of full engagement. Okay.
Correct. Yeah. And it's not about driving fast or stuff like that. It's just
you're right.
act of driving.
I jumped out from the sea. Sorry. Go ahead.
No, it's okay. I mean, what I was gonna say is, I think we've lost that. Well, I could break into song here. We've lost that love and feeling. But I think we've lost that driving feeling. And that's one of the things I'm not talking maybe all cars across the board, but newer cars. Generally, I think they do too much of the driving for you. Some of my cars out there don't even have. Well, only one car has got airbags. I don't think any of my cars have ABS, except for Aku brakes and Didi. That's the ABS that I've got.
ABS,
Traction control. What is that? That's the sort of thing. And that's why I've always advised anyone for a first car, get a manual. Learn to appreciate, 3 pedals. And the act of changing your own gears, that is all part of the driving experience. But now they've got automatic only driving license stuff out there. You can actually get a driving license where you only drive automatic.
I was surprised. Yeah, when I found it.
I mean, but I'm from old school kind of driving school where they use the the Datsun B110 with a handbrake on the slope, that sort of thing. Many people failed the handbrake on the slope thing. That was the hardest thing to do. And so, but to me, that was absolutely necessary. And I tell people, get a manual basic car as your first car. You will appreciate what it takes to drive a lot more. And then later, when you buy something newer with all these modern gizmos in it, you will appreciate those gizmos a lot more than if you jump into one straight away.
Yep.
Yeah, sorry, you were saying something.
100% agree with you. Yeah. With the idea that I was just about to say that when you tested the non-assistance, then you appreciate the assistance a lot more.
Yes, and then you will realize that they are just assistance systems,
correct,
not something you rely on to drive. A lot of people are relying on that, and another thing that really gets me is that they're making the drive so easy in new cars that it leaves people able to do other things while they're driving. Thomas, I kid you not, the other day I saw a lady, she had an iPad stuck on the front, on her steering wheel. She had stuck her iPad on her steering wheel. She was driving while, I don't know, answering emails or something like that. And you think about this, she's already distracted, right? If she rear ends somebody and the airbag deploys,
the iPhone's her face. Yeah.
Through her face, out the back of her head.
Oh man!
I mean, the keypad's going to come out through her ears. So new cars are doing so much for us in terms of driving that we get distracted a lot easier these days. As you know, I'm a biker. I saw this while I was riding the iPad on the steering wheel thing. And I see so much of this happening more and more these days because the car drives you so much. You don't drive, so you are allowed to be distracted. And I've seen cars creeping into my lane. I'm riding here, right, and I see cars creeping into my lane, just drifting along because somebody's got his phone there, automatic. He just has to keep his foot on the accelerator and maybe just hold the steering wheel, and he just doesn't realize he's drifting straight into my lane so many times. Every time I ride my bike, at least 3 people out there try to kill me. So that's the thing about newer cars versus old school cars. Old school cars demand your attention when you drive.
And you know what? It rewards you. It rewards you. That's why I feel like this is why I feel
very much. Correct.
Yeah, it rewards you for giving the attention. So therefore, I realized that I don't like people calling me when I'm driving my cars now. I used to be okay without driving my C43. Like, okay, I press a button, I talk on the Bluetooth. Now it's like I got Bluetooth installed on this car, but I prefer not to talk to anyone. I like to listen to the car's engine. Like I like to hear it,
Yep.
So it is a different kind of engagement, yeah. But
I even turn off my stereo. I turn off my stereo when I drive. I very rarely listen to the radio or CDs. Some of you will ask, "What's a CD?" But yes, I have a CD player in my cars. And, I want to immerse myself in the actual drive.
The car,
So that's why I guess if you were gonna ask me what's the thing that I think you were gonna ask me what's the thing that's hit me the hardest during MCO and CMCO and EMCO and FMCO and whatever, it's the sheer pleasure that I get from just driving far, driving out of town, driving into Thailand, Evo Enduro, where I met you. Sort of thing.
Anywhere, anywhere more than an hour.
And 10 kilometers. 10 kilometers.
But I do concur with you. But for me, it was more, at least from a modern car driver, I was surprised, like, hey, I can feel there is a weight on the throttle. There's a weight on everything. Everything is analog. Like everything is analog.
Yes.
The steering is analog. Even even just the throttle for me was like, oh, you can feel the wire like pulling when you're pressing the throttle. It's so much engagement. You can feel the car, like the chassis moving underneath your butt. That's something so foreign for me. And then instantly, right, I was like, why have I been missing out? I mean, driving this C43. Which is fast, like it's like fast. I could keep up with Alex STM Rock on his Ferrari California. He was driving fast and hard. I was just right behind him. And then, but now my E30, I was like, what? Like this is so much fun. So for me, it's driver engagement. I wouldn't say new cars with no character, but I think like the character.
No, I didn't say character. Character is different.
I think old school cars, you're right. It demands your attention and it rewards you for the attention. It rewards you for the attention. Yeah,
it does. Yeah, it will reward you.
And sometimes I'm just giggling like an idiot. I'm driving my Mini and giggling like an idiot driving my car.
Yeah.
And I'm going like 70 and 80. I'm just smiling all the way, laughing all the way, and no one's in the car, And I think that's one of it. The one thing that makes classic is if you're car driving, you're a spirited driver. I think classic rewards you. There's so much special. Now, sure, you won't keep up with your friends, but who cares, right? For me,
who cares? Yeah, right? I've always said drive at your own pace, drive at your own speed. And one cool thing about driving old school cars is that you could be doing 80, but you feel like you're doing 160. Because old school cars, you feel the speed. You will feel the speed.
It's like the Mini Cooper, right? People say, how fast? I said 70, I feel like dying. 90, I'm almost there already. 110, I'm seeing St. Peter already.
That's true. It's true. Yeah. Very legit. Yeah, very legit.
Right? Yeah, but so fun. Like they're ridiculous. Like I cannot imagine my garage without a classic car anymore. I cannot.
Yeah.
I
cannot, right? Once you get into it, you cannot imagine. Yeah. It's like Alfa Romeo ownership. Once it's in your blood, you gotta have an Alfa Romeo.
Oh no.
Yeah, it's one of those things. But I'm saying you wanted an E30, you got an E30. You got that beautiful Mini, but then you also have your Spider, which is modern and fast like anything. And I'm so happy it's a manual, by the way, 3 pedals. Manuals are.
I think the Spider is just right in between the shift to complete modern. It's still somewhat between some classic.
Some classic.
Some old school driving experience. Correct. Like no. They try to bring it raw, no active suspension, nothing. Everything's passive, and there's still some components they try to make it classic. The 718 not too much, but
there's still some some analog to it.
Yeah,
There's still a
only
little
if
bit
they
of
had
analog.
hydraulic steering, or no, only the hydraulic steering.
Yeah,
only if
yeah.
they had it.
Is it hydraulic or is it the
No,
electric
it's
power
electric.
steering?
Electric
Power
power
steering? Yeah.
Very good, but nothing comes close to hydraulic or even like no power steering, like a Mini.
Yeah.
I remember getting your
I have-
Waja once, your Saga. I was like,
Yes.
and then you outside looking at you like,
Hey, your steering broken or what? That's the look you gave me.
and then you're like, I was like, oh, and then I remember that was epic. Yeah.
I forgot to tell
Anyway,
you the trick of driving a car without power steering is to actually
you have to move the car.
move a little bit,
Yeah.
and then it's a lot easier. If you have to
Correct.
turn it on the spot, it's very difficult.
Oh man,
But-
man.
Build up muscles, man. It's a
I
good
think we
workout.
conclude that the old school classic, one of the things that makes it so epic, other than nostalgia, but that's about driving experience. I think it's the one that we talk about is the owner actually the hunting for the car. Ownership experience means all the part of fixing up the cars, improving the car, and also
seeing the process. Seeing the
process,
process of the car coming back to life, like
Yeah.
my Savvy, which was 3 days away from being scrapped. Everybody thinks
Oh,
I'm making
man,
that up,
epic.
but
Epic.
it's an absolute true story. And I bought that car for 1,000 ringgit because I just didn't want to see it get scrapped. And seeing the process of it coming back to life till it became the yellow Angry Bird, it was just amazing. And then selling it to somebody who was passionate about the car as well. The car lives in Penang now, and that whole process, the Savvy was one of my most rewarding restorations.
So the process of restoring it, the process of taking care of it, right? Taking care of it. I think taking care of it's actually 80% of the classic ownership.
Yeah,
And then
seeing
the last
it
part
slowly
is
get
the
better.
driving. Yeah,
And then driving it,
experience.
I drove
Yeah,
that car to
it must
Penang to
experience.
deliver it to the new owner, and it drove so beautifully. And really, when I stopped at the R&R and I took a photo of it, I was like, wow, I'm proud of myself.
It's a Renault engine, right?
It's a Renault 1.2 engine. Yeah, basically it's a Renault engine.
Punchy,
Manual gearbox. And one of the coolest things about the car was the torsional rigidity. Proton really made that car very, very stiff in terms of it was one of the stiffest cars I've ever driven.
Really?
It could actually lift its back wheel on an incline, on a curvy incline. It could lift its back wheel. That's how stiff the chassis was. So it's a really fun car. But sadly, I think if they had used a Japanese engine, it would have been a lot more well accepted in Malaysia, because at that time, French engines were not doing very well insofar as their reputation was concerned. Reputation for reliability, for fixing and stuff like that. The reason why you see the reason why you see
it'd be broken in any the moment you serve it, you break it.
Exactly. And after you break it, the parts to actually fix it up again are crazy, very, very expensive. To fix the AMT manual, the AMT gearbox in a Savvy AMT costs more than the value of the car. That's why you see so many scrapped.
Yeah. Because they just didn't bother with that.
Didn't bother with fixing it, because it would cost the value of the car just to fix the gearbox or buy another one for it. So that's why some cars have a poor reputation because of that, but not all.
I'm glad you restored that car, because it looked beautiful, especially after the wrap came in.
Yes,
the
yellow
AMW, I was like, what? It came in. I was like, what? Yeah,
that was the car that was almost scrapped. Oh shit!
Yeah, couldn't believe it.
So,
couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
But anyways, there's a lot more to talk on. We're gonna go for a quick break, but before we come in on the break, we did talk about up until now. We talked about what makes car ownership experience amazing. We did talk about what makes. I hope you guys are inspired by it. If you're inspired, let us know. Give us some love. If you're on Facebook or if you're on YouTube, give us some likes as well.
Please.
So after coming on the break, there is an interesting story that Chris shared with me that it was a guy that fell in love with one of Chris's car in his garage, and the guy insisted, the moment he saw it, insisted in shaking hands with him. And it was a car that he regretted letting go. All of us have cars we regret letting go before. Let me know in the comments below what cars you regretted letting go before, right? I've regretted letting go of my M235. I miss it dearly. So everyone has that experience. So after the break, we're going to come back and Chris is going to share which car he regretted letting go. And more of that after the break. For now, let's hear it from our sponsors, get some drinks, and then we'll see you in a bit. Alrighty, and we are back. Let's look at the comments. Guys, let us know what cars you regretted letting go. Let's see over here. Oh, hey, Chris is checking in. Are you having fun chatting?
Oh, absolutely. This is
great, that's
long
great.
overdue. Thomas, this was long overdue, and I'm so sorry.
Yeah, long
that
overdue. Yeah, I'm so glad.
you invited me very much early on when you first started this Talk Gear, and I've always watched your episodes, and I've always liked it. I'm so sorry we just couldn't coincide.
No,
the time.
thanks for coming on, man. I'm really enjoying now. Yeah,
So happy to be here. Thank you,
so
thank
glad
you.
to be here. And to spread the good news about classics, spread the gospel.
Yes. Give
All
old
right,
school
Patrick.
cars a second chance.
Yes.
Hashtag.
Yes. Oh yeah. Really. Come on. It's so fun. Anyways, Patrick always says regret letting go of his 911 996 C2. You know the egg yolks. I'm starting to like it. No. Yeah. I'm same with Bobby. You know. I first time I said, oh my god, what is this egg yolks doing? You know, this sunny side up. But there was one part in my garage and my car park, and every time I look at it, I'm like, it's
Starting to
getting
like
better.
it. Starting to like it. Yeah. The 996, the runny egg headlights. I mean, you do know that the Porsche has not really changed the design, the shape of the 911 for 40, 50 years, but they decided to change the design of the headlight for the 996, and they got so much flack for it. Just changing the headlight, they got so much flack for it. That's why the 997 came back with the round headlights, because they're like, okay, we give up. We'll give you back your freaking round headlights, you
But
idiots.
it's a tough job for Pinky Lai, the designer, right? Water
really
cool
is.
to air cool to water cool, and just
I miss the air cool 993s. If you were to ask me what Porsche I would want, and of course the air cool 993s now are just astronomical in price, it would be an air cool 993.
and it looks so good. It looks so good. It's ridiculous.
The round headlights are actually just slightly further in front a bit. They're not flat, you know. That's slightly further up.
Yeah, the
gorgeous at the back. Gorgeous.
And it's so small.
And you know,
like fucking next to my Boxster, it looks so small.
yes. If you park, not just your Boxster, but if you park an original 911 next to a current generation 911, you'll be amazed just how big the car has grown.
Yeah, it feels like maybe the 911 has extra 2 more seats. 4
Yes,
seats.
it looked like a 4-seater with another 2 doors, you know, a four-door sedan compared to the original.
So it become a 6-seater. That's not bad.
No, that's a
let's see over
multi-car.
here. Nissan Sentra N19, N16. Oh, okay. Interesting.
N16. Wow. Okay. Well, Sky, you can get N16s out there for less than 10K in pretty decent condition. And if you like that car, get it back, because it's not going to cost you an arm and a leg. So this is the time. You've worked hard your whole life. This is the time to reward yourself with something unnecessary, just because it makes you feel good. Yeah, just because it's going to make you feel good to have it again. And that was my premise of the Z4 convertible, my cousin's Z4 convertible when he had it. You know, why buy a convertible? Why? There's no reason for you to buy a 2-door convertible 2-seater.
No.
Do you need a reason? Do you need a reason? No, you don't need a reason. You've worked hard your whole life. Everything is set. You're stable. You're secure. You got a roof over your head. You got food on the table. You got clothes on your back. Reward yourself. What's the point of, YOLO? Life's too short to drive boring cars. Reward yourself a little bit. You know, I couldn't afford the Z4, so I bought 12 cars instead, cheap ones.
All right, that's a good advice over there. Haswani say regret letting go the Smart Roadster.
Oh, Smart Roadster. Yes, I remember the Smart Roadster. It is. Flat back. It looks like it's got a box at the back. It looks like it looks a little bit almost like the original Lotus Elise, but with a flat back. Yeah.
Look what Chong is saying. Regret something is RS2. Oh
no. But it's okay. You know why? Because he's got that gorgeous M6.
Oh yeah,
E24.
and that beautiful Alfa Romeo. The beautiful Alfa Romeo.
Alfa Romeo, the GTV is gorgeous.
Oh, it's gorgeous. I want to clean the car, give it a very nice clean.
Earlier, Chong said, Thomas, you should buy yourself an Alfa Romeo, and it's got to be manual. I say it on camera right now. If I ever have a chance to come across an Alfa Romeo, okay, doesn't matter which one. I think a Spider, the old school Spider. I'm talking about the 1360. Oh man, if you can find a Spider Duetto, oh my goodness.
No, don't put it in front of me. No.
I can't put it in front of you. This is your show. I got no say.
No, if I see an actual unit, I think my legs will collapse, my knees will go weak. It might have called 911. 991, because I think it's one of the me personally, I think in that era, I think that was gorgeous.
It's gorgeous. It's still gorgeous. If you watch the movie The Graduate with Dustin Hoffman, that car was used in that movie. It's a very old movie. It's
I think
beautiful.
there's something that it's not too shouty, like
No,
a
it's
super like sports car, but something classy about it. It's the
very,
word
very classy. Yeah, it's
very
very,
classy.
very
And
classy.
you take that car, I talk about classics, and you can say this out before you go into the topic. Something beautiful about classics is that whenever you see a Lambo, Ferrari, or some supercar or whatever, right? And then you park a very beautifully taken care of classic, right? It seems like all the energy gets drawn to that classic, like
Yeah,
I remember working in Shangri-La, and then this beautiful W126 came in, and then nobody looked at the Ferrari, and it's minted, shiny. The rims are just so I can see it's so clear. My future is clearer. This clearer than my future,
I once drove my 126 to a hotel in KL, and the valet guy must have been a classic car fan, because he let me park right in front of the lobby. And those places for in front of the lobby are normally reserved for Rolls Royce, BMW 7 Series, But he allowed me to park my 126 along the front of the hotel. He must have been a classic car guy.
Yeah, it is. There's something about a presence. I think I said and this before we go on to continue on the conversation, is that there is something. You can buy a car and it moves great. Like buy a modern car, but to get a classic car moving, right? Like look at CL's Chenglong's the Alfa Romeo. To get it moving and taking all the spirited driving all the way to KKB. There's a lot of respect in that, like to take care of the car. Yeah.
Why do you think I've used only classics for Evo Enduro? The two Evo Enduros that I've been on, I used the 126 and an E30. I could have used something newer, but no, I wanted to drive the classic there because there's just something about driving a classic long distance.
Yeah.
Indescribable. You got to do it. Yeah, you got to do it.
Yeah.
And, I even drove a Nissan Bluebird to Koh Samui. That was a small private trip with my cousin. And it was like driving a Nissan Bluebird all the way to Koh Samui and back.
Wow.
I know.
It was
crazy.
As soon as the lockdown is over, I'm taking my E30 back to Segamat, to my hometown.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then take the highway all the way back to Segamat,
Yes,
Yeah,
I want to go to Penang. I want to go to Penang, but via Kuantan and use the old East-West Highway and get to Penang.
Wow.
I want to do that.
Wow. Anyways, there's so much to talk about. Let's come back into here. And yes, we talk about which car you regret selling. So, Chris, which car that you shook hands and then you went?
Okay, the backstory is this.
How did it happen?
How did it happen? Yeah, that's a very good question. This guy came to my house to pay me the remainder, the balance payment for my 635 CSI E24. It just so happened my Mercedes Benz SW123, which is the wagon variant of the W123, was back. And he saw the car and he said, "Why didn't you tell me you had this?" And of course I replied, "You never asked," jokingly. And he goes, "No, can you sell me this car?" I said, No, it's not for sale because I just finished restoring it. Well, not just, I'd already finished restoring it. And there we go. This shot was taken at Darren's place, auto detailer, in his bat cave. So that's my SW123, and he insisted that he wanted this car because his dad used to have one or something, and he said, "Name your price." And I said, "Bro, it's not for sale. I just got this, but I'm still enjoying this car. I'm not ready to sell it yet." He goes, "No, seriously, name your price." So I blurted out a stupid price, which I was absolutely sure he was not going to go for, and he stuck out his hand and said, "Deal." And without negotiating, and it was a stupid price. Let me just emphasize that. Yeah, it was a stupid price, and he agreed with no negotiation. And now, the honor code is that if somebody agrees to a price that you stupidly blurted out when you didn't want to sell the damn car,
with the hand shaking out some more.
Yes, you are obligated to accept. I could have been a bastard. And say, "Hey, no, man, I was just kidding." But
so you said the price, hopefully that he would say, too much for me. Right?
Yes. And deal. And I was like, no. But
look
so
at that, man. The color.
That's the actual car.
God.
That's the actual car. This was the original color. It had been resprayed, of course. And I still had the original wheel cap, the steel wheel caps, as you can see.
Yeah.
And the best part, Thomas, it was a 5-speed manual.
Oh,
3 pedals, baby. 3
This is
pedals.
it's the 200E, right? The TE, 200TE.
This is the 200T.
200T.
T for touring.
So it's the carburetor. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a carbureted engine. 200T. The T was for touring. A lot of people thought the T stood for turbo. Actually, a lot of cars. No, it's not a turbo. A lot of cars out there, the T actually stands for
It doesn't
touring.
need a turbo.
Yeah, it doesn't need a turbo. This car, you don't go fast. This car, you cruise, and just enjoy the drive. It was very, very, very nice car, and I done, of course, me being me, I had done it up really well, and it even had the cargo net, and which is something that it was very rare to get. The cargo net actually lifts up and hooks onto the top of the roof on the inside of the car, because people used to carry their dogs in there and they didn't want the dogs jumping into the back seat or anything like that.
Yeah.
So there was this cargo net that pulled up, and it was clear, not clear, but the netting was actually pretty big, so you could actually see through, windshield at the back to see what was at the back of it. It was really, really nice car. Manual sunroof, and I think all sunroofs, regardless of cars, should come with a manual sunroof, because our climate, our climate is not conducive for electric. So all you had to do was pull down a little T lever, T bar they called it, twist it and push your sunroof open, and then if you want to close it, just push it back. Oh, of course, it locked into place. Just unlock it, put it back, and click. Never went wrong.
So beautiful, this car. Every time I see a 123 wagon, I'm like, wow.
Yeah, they're really good. Really, really nice. And these cars were built to last a lifetime. Like I said many times, actually, built to last a lifetime, as in a human lifetime, not a current car lifetime, which is what, 10, 15 years. Cars out there have a shelf life. They do. The components that are used have a shelf life. And while it's great that a lot of cars out there can now be recycled, recycling is a very important thing for our environment and all that, but they should not start to recycle while you're still using the damn car. I've always said this. So you get dashboards that are cracking beforehand because the plastic can actually be recycled, stuff like that. Yeah. So, but those cars were built to last a human lifetime. So that's another reason why I like old school cars. The engineering that went into it, even my 124 200T pig nose, the engineering that went into it, it's just so amazing to me. Over-engineered to last a lifetime, because they wanted those cars to last. Now they want cars, I shouldn't say it, but now they want cars to go wrong a little bit so that they can make money from the after sales. It's an open secret. It's an open secret.
But that the W123, I look at it right now, it's like, I mean, come on, like look at that condition, man. I mean, just through the picture.
It's just gorgeous, isn't it?
Gorgeous. I mean, look at and the lines are so strong and bold. It's just, I think it's beautiful, and
coming from a time when they designed cars with a ruler, paper, and pencil. This is before CAD, computer-aided design. Stuff like that. Just
it still looks beautiful today. And my grandfather had a W123 actually. 230E W123, and then in dark green. That dark green. There was an offer recently on a very, very decent price on the wagon, but although I love the wagon, my heart feels like I want to build a car that represents my grandfather. So
get the sedan. Get the sedan.
Yeah, I want to get a sedan and automatic 230E. Because
they're
it's what my
still
grandpa had.
very, very nice cars.
And I think it's because for me it's a nostalgia nostalgia. And I remember so much sitting my grandpa's next to him in a very bouncy chair,
because the seats have springs in it. Cars these days don't do that anymore, but those seats have springs.
Gary says he will lick the grill of the W123. Probably you shouldn't do that after a long journey, because there probably be
bugs and stuff. Cow dung. But it was a lovely car, and I missed it so much that I decided to look around for another wagon. And 10 years later, or maybe even more, finally I got myself another wagon, the Volvo 240 brick wagon. So very happy with that, and that's not going anywhere, because that's my practical car. I actually use the space, the pellet compliant space. Bobby is always talking about pellet compliant. Those wooden pallets, they can actually fit into the Volvo brick wagon 240. No other new station wagon out there can do that anymore. Pellet compliant, So that was
But
very
your
important.
Volvo recently had a respray, right? And
Yes,
not a
yes.
few months ago, but beautiful orange.
Yeah,
Wow, can't wait.
I went a bit crazy on that one. I had
haven't seen
no
it in
idea.
person yet. I want
You
to
haven't?
see it. I
Yes,
want to
you
see it.
haven't. You haven't.
I want
I
to see it in person. Yeah.
I took a chance on that color because I've always been just spraying my cars, gunmetal gray, silver. These are safe colors,
Yeah.
So I wanted
The
to
orange,
take a chance.
but it looks suitable. Suitable
It
for
does,
the
doesn't
Volvo.
it? It doesn't.
Yeah, it does. It does. It does.
I was
most
worried,
will do
man.
yellow, but I think the orange is just.
I was very worried. I was very worried. A lot of people wanted me to.
Fine.
It came out right? Yeah, I was worried for a while and a lot of people wanted me to go with Polestar blue, which is a very known Volvo color. But Polestar is for newer Volvos. I mean, I think if I had painted my wagon Polestar blue,
No,
it
it doesn't. No.
It would
No.
not have got. Yeah, it would not
No.
have. So then again, orange. Wow. So yeah, I took a chance.
It worked really
It worked
well.
out. It worked. Yeah, thankfully.
Wait to see in person. Hopefully, MCO is over. Yeah,
cheers,
can
man.
see.
I hope so too.
Yeah, cheers, man.
Cheers, everybody who is watching. Please have a drink on us. I mean, with us.
Hey, before we continue, I just want to make a quick announcement for everybody. It's a very serious announcement. Very, very serious announcement. There is a very important thing to announce.
Oh, yes. So this was the announcement I was talking about. Thank you, Thomas. Thank you so much.
Yeah. So
And,
on every Tuesday, Crisscross Tuesday.
Crisscross Tuesday. This is going to be a new live show on Horizon. You can see Bobby and Conde are my first guests. Thomas, you will be invited as well soon.
Oh, I love to.
It'll be a new show to talk about classics, classic ownership, pros and cons, things to look out for, what not to fall for. And so yeah, it's gonna be really exciting. Starts next Tuesday, the 20th at 9 p.m. So please join us. And Thomas, please join us also.
I will.
You're more than welcome.
And guess what, guys? If you're spinning off from this conversation, today is more light. If you want to go deeper, like what tips, what to not get, what to pay attention to, go and check out this next Tuesday one. Today is more like the sermon, to enroll people into classics, and then you go into
yes, absolutely. There was a long time ago. There was this initiative by Proton to actually tow in any car you want and get 5,000 ringgit down on a new Proton, and we lost a lot of classics, and that really hurt me because a lot of classics were lost. And I actually saw a couple of trailers with all these classic cars on it heading to Tanjung Malim, where the scrap place was. And Thomas, I kid you not, I drove out there and I snuck into they were piled about 8 high and 100 wide, all these classics, and we weren't allowed to go in to try and even buy parts, not steal but buy parts. We lost a lot of old school classics. It really, I almost cried. Really, I almost cried. There were cars in there that if you had today, you would treasure. There were Celicas, Fintails, a lot of JDM cars.
Oh no!
We lost a lot of classics, and that's why from there I started a movement, so to speak, to try and give old cars a second chance, because they really have a lot of life left in them, especially old cars. Like I said just now, they were over-engineered, they were built to last, and scrapping them, that scrapping policy was just crazy, and we lost a lot of classic.
And also to the viewers, right, you'd be surprised. Some cars, right, you think my E30, right, it's like, oh, you can be gentle because it's fragile.
No.
These cars will take a beating, man. You can rev the engine. The engine wants to be revved.
Yep.
You think that old cars, like, they're fragile? No, they're built they're built pretty well. It's ridiculous. You think of it, it's 30 years old, and you bash the engine will respond. My Mini, right? The Mini will still go. You whack the car, the car will still go.
I saw how it can go. It was like, zoom, you're gone. I was like, what the hell just happened?
That was a shakedown drive, right? And then
yes.
My mechanic told me, Thomas, just don't keep it running on high rev for more than like 10 minutes. Okay, fine. So I go high and down, but it's like the engine won't blow, but of course, you gotta still give it some. But they're not like fragile, not fragile things.
They're not fragile.
They actually can still handle it, right? Hey, some guys that drive a Nissan Sentra and then they whack the car also okay, what?
Me, I have a Nissan Sentra. I whack the car like crazy. That's my hoonigan car actually.
That's the Genting car.
That's the Genting taxi.
Actually, Genting.
Yeah. And now I know why. Having owned it, I know why it was chosen as a Genting Highlands taxi. That thing is brutally quick going up there, and it's so well balanced. It's very light for one thing. The 1.6 dual cam fuel injected engine is just,
It is reliable.
and the gearing, it was like it was built for Genting Highlands.
Yeah.
Absolutely. For that
I
matter,
can
your
almost
E30 as
see
well.
a uncle with one cigarette out of the window and then steering the car.
It was a known thing back in the 90s that if you want to learn the lines of Genting, follow a Genting Sentra, a Genting taxi Sentra, and look at their lines, because those guys, those uncles that were driving those Sentras, they could go up that hill blindfolded. I swear they could go up that hill
I
blindfolded.
mean,
And
they
you
called me out
see
so
the
many
lines.
times already.
Yes,
Yeah.
daily, back and forth, up and down, back and forth. So they knew those lines. They knew. So there was always trying to keep up, even just to see their lines was difficult, because that's how good they were going up that hill. Bygone
Yeah.
era. Now they're using Innovas, I think, or Exoras. I can't remember.
Yeah. And some people, they brag about driving their modern cars up. These guys can take an old car and squeeze everything out of it, man.
No ABS, no EBD, no traction control, nothing. Engine,
ABS,
4 tires, 30. No ABS. No
Go, ABS. Aku break sendiri.
Aku break sendiri, yes. Yeah, aku break sendiri. Itu saja. But I tell you what, it will be a very rewarding drive once you get driving an old school car in anger, like I say, when it's okay to do so, not racing, yeah, when you're alone and nobody's chasing you and there's no Myvies around.
Yeah.
Sorry. It's a very rewarding experience. Yeah, king of the road, yeah.
Hey, well, we're coming. It's 1 hour and 20 minutes. We still got to play Dude, Where's My Car? How many of you are looking forward to Dude, Where's My Car? Let us know, because I got an epic lineup soon.
I have no
Before
idea
we
what
go
you're
over
doing.
there, I got epic lineup. I'm gonna struggle with that one as well.
Oh dear.
We're gonna cast votes and stuff.
Challenge
But anyways,
accepted.
Oh yeah, let's do it. Okay, so before we go on to the next part, which is Dude, Where's My Car? Would you like right on top of the head, what are the 5 classic cars or old school 90s, whichever lah? It means like, what cars would you think is okay? Here's the criteria. I haven't done classics. What cars would I dip my toes in first?
You've already got a really nice E30, which is a very, very good classic to own. I mean, it's not that old, and again, it's not that new. It's still very raw. It doesn't have that much electronics. Instead of 5 cars, let me just start with your E30, because that would be actually one of them. So let me start with the E30, one of the 5. Yeah. One general rule of thumb that I use is I try and get a car that doesn't have that many electronics. In fact, if it has wind-up windows in front, I'm happy. Electronics don't fare very well in our climate, and so even my Ford Laser, it's got wind-up windows in front, and that, believe it or not, that was actually a selling point for me. One less thing to go wrong. So electronics don't survive very well in old cars, in classic cars, in old school classic cars. So
wiring is a headache, right?
Wiring is a big headache, and it's not all about our heat and our rain, sunshine and rain. It's also our humidity. Malaysia has very high humidity. And humidity can actually get into ECUs and wiring looms and stuff like that. So that's one thing. So try and get a car that has minimal electronics, like your E30, for example. It's very raw. It's very
it's still very very little electronics. Yeah,
very
almost
little
minimal.
electronics.
Actually. I think
minimal. Very minimal.
E36 onwards they started introducing
yes. And E46 was the infancy when BMW was getting into very, very much into computerization, electronic sensors here and there. Sensors also don't do very well in our climate. So that's another thing. If it's a a car with a lot of sensors, that you got to watch out for that. So try one of the things you should remember is, if you're going to go old school, you also have to think about your budget. Let's say you got 10,000 ringgit. If you spend that whole 10,000 ringgit on buying a car, any car, whether it's JDM, whether it's Continental, that's your entire budget gone. So if anything happens, and yes, things will happen, make no mistake, these cars are old and it's mechanical. Things will break eventually, and wear and tear definitely prevalent. So if you spend 10,000 ringgit, all your money on that one car, and then suddenly you realize your tires are from 2012, you need new tires, you don't have a budget even for tires. So never spend your whole budget on the car
itself.
Yes, keep some for incidentals, which will happen, and it will come up sooner or later. I mean, even brand new cars are not perfect. Things go wrong,
But at least you have
thankfully,
warranty,
warranty.
right?
You have warranty.
Yeah.
with a classic car, your warranty is your bank account. That's it. And if you spend all your money, you're not going to have enough. And then that's when it becomes a burden. And the last thing you want is to have a burden, which is supposed to be something that makes you happy. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's see. 5 cars. It also depends a lot on.
But that's a good tip. I think I missed that out. Yeah, you gotta have. Don't spend
Something
all your
in reserve.
budget on the car.
Yes.
Leave aside at least 5K, 10K for repairs. Or,
At least.
Yeah.
And that budget, the just in case budget, which actually is a needed budget, varies in terms of the vehicle that you buy, and also whether it's Continental or JDM. By and large, JDMs are less expensive to keep, restore, and maintain. Continental classic cars, by virtue of the fact the dollar ratio, the forex, parts are going to be more expensive because they're going to come from overseas, whether it's a British car or a German car or from wherever, Italian, Spanish, whatever. By virtue of the fact that of our forex, our ringgit versus where the country that the car comes from, parts itself, which you buy if you have to buy from the internet, are going to be more expensive because of the exchange rate. Plain and simple, and also because of the freight and shipment like that. So my advice, if you're looking to get into old school or classics, get something Japanese. If your budget is not that much, if you don't have that much to spend, get something Japanese. It's cheaper to do up, really. Cars that off the top of my mind, like I said just now, if you're gonna get something like that, if you already have a new car in your garage, and you want just something to play with on weekends, do up, maybe do your own restoration a little bit of DIY, something to get your hands dirty, because your new car is so damn good at getting you from A to B all the time, and you got nothing left to do with it except pay for it every month. Then if you don't have a lot of money, get something Japanese, something JDM. An example, something basic, something with 3 pedals and a manual transmission. You can look at a KE70. KE70 is actually going up in price. Yeah. Toyota KE70s below 10K. You can get a decent, not great, you can get a decent Toyota Corolla KE70 for less than 10,000 ringgit. You can get one for like 7, 8, and you can even get one for like 3 or 4. But then you're gonna spend more, like I said earlier, to actually do it up. Things to look out for would be body corrosion. Rust is a major problem, and rust never gets better. Yeah, it's a cancer for cars. It just spreads. It gets worse. So get something like see, look at that, beautiful. And if you notice, there are some with the round lights and there are some with the square headlights. Your choice is yours, and that's the best thing about buying an old school car. The variants you have that are out there, it's your choice. They even have a KE70 wagon. But going back to what I said about corrosion, now, everybody knows Malaysia's weather, heat, rain, humidity, that's the perfect recipe for rust. And a lot of these cars did not come with anti-rust. Dipping the whole frame of the car into an anti-rust thing. If you've seen the video, it's quite amazing actually. They dip the whole car into an anti-rust formula, and it comes out
the charge towards it, stuff.
Yeah, the charge goes in and it sticks to the metal and all that. Unheard of at that time. So a lot of these cars became rust buckets. Most of the time, if it's surface rust, it's very easy to fix. Very easy to fix. Even if there's a hole in the car, it is easy to fix. The problem comes when it's attacked the chassis. If it's really rusty and it has attacked the chassis, walk away, because that basically the car has to be scrapped. It's a safety issue. But by and large, the good thing about the KE70 is that a lot of people like the KE70. It's an enthusiast car, and it's a very cheap JDM to get into, And
it's a fun car. So rear-wheel drive, right?
Rear-wheel drive, yeah.
I think it was built as an E30 competitor, wasn't it? Is it?
Yeah, Japanese E30 competitor.
Japanese.
In fact, you look at the design; it's that square 3-box design, bonnet, roof, boot. It's just a very, very basic design. Now, if you have, moving on now, we look at it in terms of budget lah. If you have a little bit more to play with, you can look into Continentals. But one thing to remember about Continentals, part sourcing is going to be more difficult than Japanese car sourcing. Because I've done both. I've done Contis and I've done Japanese. I haven't done Korean yet because I think Korean cars are still a little bit too new for me. But I've done
Maybe
Japanese.
the old Koreans are not too like wow yet.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, true. I mean, it's JDM, not KDM. So
Hey, now K-pop is bigger than J-pop, right?
I guess so. But anyway, so if you have more money and you want to get into Continentals, just remember it's going to cost more. And if you're talking about a basic restoration, I'll give you an example. I had a Daimler 3.6 a long time ago.
Wow,
Yeah,
really?
and I sold that within 2 weeks because I realized, and you got to be realistic. I realized that when just the water pump cost 3,000 ringgit, water pump just cost 3,000 ringgit. You come to the sad realization that your pockets just aren't deep enough to maintain, to do up that car, even to a level where
especially when you have another 11 more cars to take care of.
yeah. Well, no, this was a long time back. And thankfully, I came to my senses because, yes, there are cars out there. And like you said earlier as well, and what I said earlier as well, you have to enjoy the process. You have to know what you're getting into, yeah? And that's why there are a lot of those who are well-to-do have become checkbook restorers. A checkbook restorer is somebody who basically buys the car, sends it to his friend who has maybe a body shop or a workshop or something, and say, don't call me until it's done. And here's a blank check. Of course, I am not one of those because I don't even have a checkbook. But so you got to know what you're getting into. What else? Okay, we've gone Japanese, we've gone Continental.
We got E30. Well, E30 are not be rust buckets as well. I think
yeah, a lot of the cars from
that
era.
the facelift versions means after 1988, after 1989 and 1988. So the 318, the 325s, then they tend to have better rust resistance, but they're still rusty.
Yes.
Rusty.
I mean, rust will eventually, even a car with anti-rust will rust because rust can. Our humidity gets between the paint and the metal of the body, and next thing you know, you see a bubble on your car, and like, what the hell is causing that bubble? It's rust.
And I
it's
heard
rust
the
underneath.
problem is not only that, it's just that sometimes when you park the car too long, when the heat of your engine helps dissipate the moisture, so the car is not driven for long, then the rust sets in, right?
Yeah. And Malaysia's climate is perfect for rust development.
Yes.
We get really heavy rain followed suddenly by really hot weather. Have you noticed that? It's suddenly in the same day, it can rain, torrential rain. The next thing you know, it's hot like crazy in the morning or afternoon or vice versa. It's mad, and that's perfect recipe for rust. Another thing you have to watch out for is some cars are imported from. Remember, I talked about importing cars from overseas. A lot of classics are also being imported from overseas, and the country of origin is also very important. If that country of origin has winter, they more than often will put salt on the road to melt the ice. And if if that car has gone over salt, that means the salt has gone into the chassis, it's gone into the frame, it's gone into the body. You could actually have a major rust problem without even knowing it. More unscrupulous importers will actually paint the whole underside of the car black before exporting the car, covering everything. You won't know it until it's too late. So a service history is very important. A life history is very important. And where that car, the birth certificate, where that car came from is very important.
And I think this is like what one of our fans saying, Kazutoshi Mizuno fan.
yes, I know Kazuchi.
So basically, they say like due to poor body repairs, mod drilling. So also depends on the previous owner. If the previous owner know his stuff, that prevent certain scrupulous mechanics from doing ridiculous stuff, then you will see less issues with rust. Yeah.
That's true. Accidents can actually cause badly fixed accidents after the car has had an accident. Post fix, if it's badly done, can actually cause that. So you need to find somebody who's good with body work. Yeah. But that said, moving onto buying a classic car, unless the car has had a really bad accident and its chassis is bent and stuff like that, most of the times bodywork is actually quite easy to fix. We have a lot of very skilled bodywork specialists out there and paint specialists. So it's very Yeah, you just need to find them. You just need to find them. But again, like we said just now, the fun is in the hunt. So honestly, the first time the brake wagon was painted, I was not happy. So I decided to go and get it resprayed and decided to change the color. Yeah. How many have we gone through? Do we really need to go through?
K70.
Yeah, we got K70. Let's talk about Italians a little bit, because somebody very famous once said that you can't really be a car enthusiast unless you've owned an Alfa Romeo.
Jeremy Clarkson.
Yes. I agree and disagree. I think Alfa Romeo ownership is a very rewarding experience. And if you don't want to own one, that's perfectly fine. It does not make you a non-car enthusiast. So I have to disagree with JC a little bit. I meant Jeremy Clarkson, not Jesus Christ. Okay.
The boy you don't want to disagree with.
No, better not. So okay, Alfa Romeos, yes, I would definitely recommend. The only problem is you need to be in the right frame of mind for Alfa Romeo, classic Alfa Romeo ownership. Yeah, it's not the easiest thing. I've had 8 Alfa Romeos in my life, and the Alfetta is my final one. I think I'm good. Because it is not the easiest car in the world to maintain, to restore first and then maintain, keep running. They are very temperamental. But again, it's just character. Alfa Romeo calls it character. I shall call it character. These are not problems. You have to have the right frame of mind. But I'll tell you this, it is very worth it. So number 3 would be an Alfa Romeo. You find yourself an Alfa Romeo, and unfortunately,
any specific models or any like pre-90s?
Alfettas are relatively inexpensive, and you can go right up the stratosphere to the what you mentioned just now, the Spider Duetto, even further up to the Alfa Romeo Montreal. Which is 400,000 ringgit last I heard. It all depends on your budget and how much you want to delve into. If you've got 400,000 ringgit lying around and you got nothing to do with it and you want to just do something crazy, go buy an Alfa Romeo Montreal. But if you've only got a little bit of budget, try and find something that you like. That's the first thing. You like, not what other people like. And just remember, those cars, also no anti-rust, from Italy, using metal that was rather substandard. I heard it came from tanks and oil barrels, but no, that's beside the point. You really want to immerse yourself into old school classic ownership, restoration, stuff like that. And Alfa Romeo is either gonna make you or break you. It can go either way. It's either gonna make you a really even more of a car enthusiast, or it's gonna make you hate cars for the rest of your life. It can go either way. Really, it can go either way.
What they say about Alfa Romeo sedans, they say the Alfa Romeo started the Italians started the idea of a sports sedan, and the Germans took it further, and then the Japanese made it reliable.
You want to hear a fun fact about Alfa Romeo?
What's that?
They were the first to actually pioneer VTEC in their passenger cars.
Ooh.
But it was Honda that hyped it up so much, and suddenly Honda became the temple of VTEC, and it's like they are the gods of VTEC. But Alfa Romeo,
did Alfa called it the VTEC, or they called it something else?
They called it a variable valve timing, and but not intelligence, like just variable valve timing. They were also the first manufacturer to go with a 5-speed manual transmission. Everybody else out there had only a 4-speed manual transmission. They actually had a 5-speed manual transmission. I think it was in the late 60s. So they've pioneered quite a lot of stuff. And it's just that they didn't really hype so much on it because they wanted the brand and the car itself to be, lustworthy and not certain specific components of it. So yeah, you want to get into really, deep dive into classic car ownership, get yourself an Alfa Romeo. Yeah. So that's 4, right? Yeah, so that's 4. Last one, what would I think?
Yeah, 4.
Yeah, so last one.
Volvo.
I was just going to say Volvo, actually. But it's a 240 is still a wonderful car. The 240 is so wonderful that Volvo in Sweden continued building it even after they had launched its successor. That's the first time in history a car manufacturer has ever done that.
Really? Wow.
They were still building the 240 because there was so much demand for this car that they couldn't stop building it. There were customers waiting, even though they had announced a successor already after the 240.
They still want to buy.
And they still wanted to buy the 240. It's an
Wow.
amazingly over-engineered car. Really,
Look like
really
a
over.
brick. I mean, literally, it looks like a
but
brick.
it's another one of those cars that were designed with a ruler, paper, and pencil, and long before internet and CAD and all that. So it's a very honest car. It's not going to win any beauty contest, although beauty and styling and design is very subjective. I think Volvo 240s are beautiful. They look like glorious bricks to me. I love them. And but people might say it's such a squarish, ugly, nothing to look at kind of car. I love that simplicity. I love the fact that it's function with not that much form. You know how they say form follows function, right? But it's function without that much form. Maybe not that much thought given into it.
I think it looks charming. It looks charming.
It does.
So refreshing.
It does.
Yeah,
Rustic,
it is refreshing.
charming.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
maybe,
you know
maybe
what?
back then no lah. Maybe back then no, but I don't know because I wasn't alive then. But but
yes, I am that old. But that's how cars looked when back then. That's how cars looked. That three box sedan, and also over engineered.
We did 4 cars only. We did K70 E30, Alfa Romeo, and then Volvo.
Okay,
but you know what? W123, right?
Yeah, I was going to say something old school from Mercedes-Benz. Now, Mercedes-Benz, not Mercedes-Benz Malaysia, but Mercedes-Benz AG globally, they are very keen on their classics. Unlike other car manufacturers, they are very enthusiastic about their classics. They have a Mercedes-Benz museum with all the classics. And they actually come up with terminologies for their classic cars. So one of the reasons why the 123 wagon, S123, has become so expensive is because Mercedes-Benz AG, they classified it, not us, they classified it as a young timer classic. And once you have that word classic inside there, the values just shoot through the roof. Because they themselves classified. Yes, they themselves have actually classified it as a classic. And that's why the property values, the value of the car has gone up so crazy. So yes, I think Mercedes-Benz, definitely. I've had several, as you know. I've had 5 W126s. I've had 2 W124s. I had that beautiful S123. And every single time I had a Mercedes-Benz, it has been such a rewarding experience to own that I cannot be without without a Mercedes-Benz, something. And the crazy thing is, although I already have one, I'm still looking around. Yeah, I'm still looking for something else. And have you heard of the Baby Benz? The Baby Benz, their classification, again, not us, the Baby Benz was the 190E. And it looks like, honestly, it looks like a miniature W124. So they called it the Baby Benz. And I love that classification. And those cars actually came with manual. And of course, there were the hot models like the AMG and the Evolution and the Cosworth of the 190E. One way to know if a car might increase in value is actually if it's raced in DTM or BTCC, and the 190E has, along with the 155, the Volvo 850 wagon. These cars were raced, and it just adds to the appeal. 190E is flying around the track on DTM, and these are the cars that you can buy, and you can still buy and buy cheaper now. So yes, definitely.
And I love the fact that it's going on the racetrack, and you look at it, it's like it's a passenger car.
Exactly. And it's a passenger car you can buy. It's not a Formula One car. Formula One is great. I mean, I love Formula One racing, but who's going to buy a Formula One car and drive it out there? But these cars you can actually buy and drive out there, and that's why DTM and BTCC was so popular, because these were the cars people could buy. So yes, definitely.
190Es and W123s, the parts are everywhere. They sold millions of them. So parts are everywhere, and there's still a lot of people using it. So the OEM community, people are still building parts for it and stuff like that. So
not just the OEM community, Thomas. Taiwan builds new OEM parts for those classic cars.
Wow, because there's a demand for it.
It's such a demand for it. You can still get from Taiwan. Real lights that OEM look, and whatever. The grill on my W123 wagon, the S123, I bought it in Bangkok.
Wow.
They still had it. A full grill set, because one of the things that rusts is that chrome grill. I don't know why. Chrome is not supposed to rust, but every single one of my Mercs, except the 200 pig nose, the grill hasn't rusted. I think maybe it might be a new grill. I don't know why, but those grills always rust. And then the vanes inside are made of plastic; those will break. Yeah, but the best always get parts for that. So yeah, a 190E is definitely in the cards because I can't stop thinking about it. And you know what they say: if you got an itch, you got to scratch it sooner or later. So.
Oh, okay. Maybe you can see.
I just quoted you.
I want this. Okay, before we move on, let's see over here some of the comments. But okay, 5 cars, right? E30s. I think E30s the prices are going up, man. People are scratching the itch with E30s. I think something about E30s is so beautiful is that a lot of people back in the days, that was a car you buy when you make it, right? So
yes.
So a lot of people might look at it and then they say, "Oh, my dad used to drive that car," and I made friends with people just driving my car down to the groceries. Yeah. And I drive it to the groceries, and then there's a guy staring at my car, and
you get that.
And then I became friends with him because my dad used to drive this car, same color. And we just exchanged numbers. We meet at the pub. I made a new friend.
Nice.
Don't get that with my Spider. Never have that with my Spider.
That's true.
The E30 prices are going up. I think the driving dynamics is ridiculous. I mean, ridiculously good because on the way it handles corners. You're like, wait, is this car 30 years old? I just wonder, like even with Bilstein B4s, which is as close to OEM or stock, and it takes the corners. I'm like, hey, this car 30 years old. Sure or not?
Don't forget that car came from a time when BMW was using the tagline "Ultimate Driving Machine." Not sheer driving pleasure.
You can feel in the car. It was very committed to the whole idea of ultimate driving machine.
Yes,
and I feel that fun, good to drive, ridiculously fun to drive.
It is.
So E30, Toyota KA70, handsome looking car, handsome bugger. My dad had a KA70, so beautiful. Alfa Romeos, I think Italian cars.
You gotta get in there. Alfa's gotta get in there.
The twin carburetor, man. It just sounds like
the Webers and the Lottos.
And then Volvos. I think Volvos are great. And then Mercedes. Olmerks.
So those are the 5 brands, 5 types of cars that you can look into. That's not gonna break your bank. Also, again, it depends on the model. Somebody just posted just now about a W140. Those newer models, the parts can be a little bit expensive, and also in terms of consideration, what is a classic and what isn't. That is all, what you think. What do you think? That's the most important. Do you feel it's a classic? And if you do, then by all means. Of course, we have registered classic car clubs out there, and you need a car club like that if you want to apply for a classic status if your car is above 25 years old. A 25-year-old Nissan Sunny, is it a classic? I get this question all the time. Is a KE70 a classic? Is a E30 a classic? I think the interpretation of it is entirely up to you. Somebody who loves a Nissan Sunny and says, "Oh my God, it's such a classic." It could be because of age. It could be because of its heritage. Nostalgia. Maybe it was nostalgia, his dad's car, or maybe his granddad's car. I have a funny saying that if you see a young guy driving a Nissan Sunny, it's confirmed his granddad's car. It's a hand-me-down. Not even his dad. It's that because those cars were built to outlive their owners, and frequently they do. Really. So I think the term of a classic is what you feel inside. What you feel. Do you feel it? If you feel it, any car can be a classic. Your car is a classic.
I mean, coming from driving all these modern cars, for me, the E30 was like a classic, and then W123 is a classic for me because my grandpa owned one, and I just really want to restore one because my grandfather. As soon as we're done my E30 with the reef spray, I say done with the reef spray because I say done means it's never going to be done. I say done with the reef spray. Then
the process. The process is what,
and then W123. I got a friend so funny. He's like, "Oh, bro, you're gonna sell it? I give you 1 year." I'm like, "I don't know, man. I don't know." No.
All you need to do is drive it, like you said. Just drive it, and you will not want to sell it.
Every time I get back in my car, I'm like, "How am I gonna sell this? Like how? Like it's just it's not even about like whether it's good. Now it's become a part that I spend so much time and energy in this car. I don't want to let it go, right?
It becomes, but anyways, like part of the family, really.
Part of the family, it is. Yeah. Never felt that kind of connection till I own them. Yeah, so happy I have that.
Yep.
All right. Okay, there's so many questions over here, but thanks for sharing the 5 cars. I hope the viewers, those who got value from it, let us know if you got value from it. So many comments over here. I hope I can go through all of them, but it's really 1 hour 50 minutes. We want to make sure we end this on time. So let's go and play. Dude, where's my car.
Okay.
So I prepared
What have
this.
you done to me?
Oh, yes. We're gonna have so much fun. Okay, guys, if you're ready to play Dude Where's My Car, let us know in the comments. You're ready to play with us. Feel free to join us. So, for those of you who are new to Dude Where's My Car, let me just bring this up. Okay, so those of you who are new to Dude Where's My Car, basically it's a game where we pick two cars, and then it's a fun way to get to know cars, but it's also a fun way to actually know how does the I Photoshop my face in here.
Oh my God. Wait, what's that coming out of my ears? Dude.
No, it's a very poor Photoshop. Okay, poor Photoshop. It's Aston Kutcher's jacket. So yeah.
Oh, okay. We got it.
So we're gonna pick two cars. Feel free to
ears.
jump in. Feel free to vote for your cars. And what's gonna happen is they're gonna ask Chris to pick between two cars, and then you're gonna justify why. All right, so let's go. So funny is the first segment is the more attainable. I wouldn't say classic, old school cars or classic, right? So we mentioned these two cars today. I think you have love for these two cars, so you're gonna struggle a bit. I'm gonna struggle a bit, which is the round one. The E30i. This is taken by Hanjo. You took this picture. This is my car. Actually.
Hanjo. This is your car, isn't it?
Yeah, it's my car before I changed anything. When it first came to me. Yeah. So would you pick a BMW E30 318i or another 4-cylinder? What could it be? It's a German car. Of course, a 390 and 190e.
Okay, folks, I need to clear up something here. Thomas did not tell me what he was going to choose for Dude Where's My Car.
No,
I'm so sorry.
I didn't know that you would speak so passionately about the 190e.
Yeah, I know. Okay, I tell you what, Thomas. I'm going to pick the 190e only because you already have an E30, and I want us to go driving together with both cars. Then we swap. And you drive my 190e, and I'll drive your E30, and then we compare notes. But both cars, can we put them side by side? I think they're very, very unique cars. And yes, definitely, either one of these cars will be a very, very nice project to endeavor into. If you're just starting out in classic restorations and classic car ownership. Now, don't forget one thing very important. Don't rely on these cars to be your daily drivers just yet when you first buy them, yeah? It's very important, and I tell everybody this, that if you want to play with classics and old school, have something out there that you can rely on. You need at least one reliable car that will start up every time, no matter what, and drive you wherever you want to go. Then this car you use as a spare on Sundays or weekends. Slowly do it up, get it going.
You have multiple classics.
Or you have, but even then,
so one breaks down, you drive the other one.
So you remember this list, right? I mean, they're all really old cars except for one, my Wajah. It's the newest car I have, and that's my reliable, sure, no problem one. To back up, just in case something happens to the other 11. And more often than not, it will. So if you want to play with classics, always have at least one car out there that's gonna be the reliable car no matter what. Okay, don't have just this one. Don't sell your reliable daily car and buy a classic project, because more often than not, the car is gonna be at a workshop or a paint shop, and then what are you gonna use? So that's the advice. So to answer your question, sorry, I had to go around a little bit. I usually scratch my nose like this. I would pick the 190e. I would pick the 190e.
Mercedes 190e.
But it has to be a manual. I mean, both. I think both are manuals, right? Your E30 is manual.
Okay.
So it has to be a manual, and also maybe because I've already owned an E30, Thomas. I drove that car for Evo Enduro all the way to Phuket and back. So I'm dying to see what a baby Benz is like. And that's a crazy thing, because I already have a W124, which is a slightly bigger version of this. But, there's something appealing about the baby Benz. And so, yeah, maybe I'll go for the 190e.
190e, yeah?
Yeah, then we go driving together with your E30.
Oh, yes. Because I think this were... I mean, it's the same segment, because the W123 is a 5 series segment. So
both are German, but they both are very different.
I'm trying to put the poll on. Sorry, I've been actually trying to put the poll on for everybody to vote, but I can't. So I'm going to resort to this. Guys, let us know which one you pick. Right in the comments below. I was hoping to put the poll up, but I can't do it. Okay, let's see.
Put them side by side.
Yeah, but I would love to take these two cars out together and park side by
Yes.
side, because I guess they were like spiritual rivals, but also
Yeah,
brothers in
pretty
a way.
much. Yeah, both from the same
Yeah.
country.
Yeah.
So definitely.
Gary says 9190E, E30 from Patrick, E30 from
It's gonna
Jason.
be very
190E.
balanced. Yeah,
We're
it's
very
gonna be
balanced,
very
very
balanced.
balanced right now.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's gonna be very
Okay.
balanced. See? E30,
Yes,
E30,
Jensen picked the
190E.
E30.
Jensen, you traitor!
Oh, Con E30. Derek also picked E30.
Bloody hell, Con has already got two E39, still want another BMW.
Kaneson. All right. Okay. There's a E30, if not the M3. All right. Yeah. Okay. Oh, Cosworth hard to find, bro. The Cosworth really hard to find. But yeah.
I'm not
okay.
hoping to find a Cosworth, and even if I could, I probably couldn't afford it. Just a regular 190E. And see.
But even the 190 is quite charming as well.
It is,
Yeah.
it is. But I gotta say the E30 looks better. And now don't
Yeah.
forget, styling, design is very subjective. Yeah, very subjective. This is just my own opinion. I think the
So
E30
you
looks
pick
better.
the 190E. The comments seem pretty balanced.
Pretty much.
I
much.
will pick the 318i, not
Of
because
course.
I have no love for the 190E. It's not because I own the one E30, but I just feel the design of E30 is just it speaks to me. It's so squarish, It's so the lights, it's something so unique about it,
I mean,
And maybe
Mercedes-Benz were really lazy with this design. Come on, let's be honest. They were so lazy with this design.
we put this and we put here. Yeah, it's all the same.
Yeah. No, we take the 124, we just make it a little bit smaller. Yes, 190E.
Yeah, I heard they even use the same chairs for the 124, or 123. So it's so
Slightly
big,
smaller.
So you cannot fit.
Yep.
It makes the rear seat small because the chair was for the 124.
Very big. That's
Yeah.
how modern car makers have actually given so much more legroom at the back. They made the front seats smaller. That's it. Okay,
I want
so
to take a comment over here. E30 and do M50 transplant. Okay. You know what,
no.
guys? I tell you something. I've tried a 325 and I almost bought an M50 B25. But I honestly feel the 4-cylinder setup on the E30 is the best. Here's the reason why. It's torquey. It's not lazy. It feels alive. Then the
It
6-cylinder
makes you
feels
work
a bit
for the power.
more like a cruiser. It's like a cruiser, like on highway and stuff.
Lazy engine. Yeah.
Yeah, not that it's lazy, it's just lazier, and and plus I noticed that the front was more heavier and it likes to oversteer a little bit more. So
Because of the heavier engine, yeah.
yeah, and it doesn't feel that you can wrestle the car a bit more in the twisty roads. And that's my style. I like the twisty roads. So the 318i was more alive on twisty roads than the 325 or any heavier engines.
It actually felt more balanced when I had an E30, which was the same 318i manual as well. It felt more balanced. It really did. And
correct.
The way it put the power down felt a lot better than the way the others put the power
I have
down.
a good time terrorizing a Satya Neo,
You sure it wasn't a Myvi, yeah?
No, it was Satya Neo. I was having a good time time terrorizing a Satya Neo. Then he was like, "Hey, why are you so fast?" I said, "No, I just driving my speed." but that was after I fitted the new Bilsteins and the new tires and stuff. But yeah,
Shakedown drive. I love shakedown drive.
I think a lot of people, they look at the numbers and figures, you look like 1.8 4-cylinder. No. I think it's a very good engine, very revvy. Love to rev the car.
Yes, very revvy.
Anyways,
love to rev.
each his own. Some people like to put big engines in E30 to yourself, but I personally think give the E30 318i a chance. After you drive it, you realize
drive
that
it
the
first.
engine is quite punchy.
Nicely mated to that chassis.
Yeah.
Like I said earlier, not only here but in the past, the manufacturer makes a car to handle a certain amount of power. From the ground up, certain amount of power coming from that power plant. If you use that same car and you chuck in an engine, a powertrain that has 2 or 3 times more the power, the rest of the car is not set up to handle that. So it's a recipe for disaster, and it ruins the whole thing.
And
Or
I think
it can get you into serious trouble.
And I think the engineer creates that you're trying to understand what the engineer is doing with the car.
Yes,
And if you
correct.
do that, it's sort of
Correct.
corrupting that.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So for this
Next.
round of Dude, Where's My Car?
No poll.
Aston Kutcher, sorry. Chris Wee picks the 190E and I picked the 318i. Okay, let's move on. Okay, we're gonna move on to the next one. Okay, this one. Oh, I love this one. Okay, we're gonna talk about. Let's go into the sports car region. All right. Oh, okay. So it's like this. Someone comes up to you and like, Chris, pick one of these two cars. They got these two keys dangling in front of you. You just pick one of this, right? Okay.
To keep, right?
So someone,
Not to just test drive,
it's
right?
like this drop. It's like someone comes up to you. You pick one of these two cars. Like,
Yep.
don't think of money. Like, here's Chris. Pick
Just
one
take
of
it.
these two cars. I love you.
They're for
Pick
you.
one of these two cars. Right? Okay. Sports
For
cars.
keeps.
What could it be?
Look at how beautiful.
Oh, it's
This
a
car-
Datsun. Oh.
This car was inspired. This car comes from a time when Japan was the car manufacturers in Japan were actually copying designs from the US, from the UK, from Europe. This car was inspired by the E-Type. The designer of this car
It's a
took
Japanese
inspiration from a
E-Type.
Jaguar E-Type.
Yeah.
And when you take inspiration from an iconic car like a Jaguar E-Type, look at what happened. Beautiful, beautiful. And this was
look at the
was
front.
positioned- Yes,
Yeah.
very phallic front, just like a Jaguar E-Type. The bonnet, that long bonnet, is supposed to represent something. Very short body, very short rear overhang. But look at that. Look at that. I mean, it's so. And
Yeah,
this was Thomas. This
I
was a run-of-the-mill car. You know, this was not really targeted or positioned as a sports car. This was a regular car, and they came up with this. Look at those alloys, those slot mags. Oi, oi, oi.
And look at how the lines go through, man. That subtle
So
lines.
gorgeous.
Wow.
Yeah, it's just the more you look at this car and
You
the
look at
lines
the
come out.
whole rear, right? It's one piece of metal from the bottom to the hood.
Look at the shoulder line, the way it goes from the front of the headlight, from behind the headlight along the body, and it just tapers up just a little bit. The door, look at that curve in the door. I mean,
Yeah,
why? But
it's
still,
art lah. It's art.
it's just beautiful. This car
Yeah.
is just beautiful.
In fact, one of my
really.
friends who acquired this recently, he's 1 year younger than me, you know. 1
Recently,
year younger than me.
wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
The red color one I shared with you.
Yes.
He's 1 year younger than me, and he acquired this car. You know, and he drives stage 2, stage 3 tune Golf GTIs. He has a 997, and he acquired this.
Look at
Wow!
that car.
And
It's just
I
gorgeous.
actually I'm going to detail that car with Miyagi soon, and as soon as
Lovely. Make a video of that, bro. I would love to see.
well,
Look
I'm definitely going to document the journey. I'm going to
Look
ask
at
if you can spend 3-4 days with the car. But they're gonna back, you know, and
so beautiful. So
so
beautiful.
option 1, the Datsun 240Z. But at this point, you know, like TJ says, anything against this, I will choose this already.
There you go. Don't even need to show the
Okay.
second one, but please show the second one.
Would you pick this, or would you pick something of an Italian spirit? Okay. Oh, you might know this car.
Oh, Montreal. I mentioned it just now
Oh.
already.
Oh,
I mentioned it just now already. This is the Montreal, isn't it? Alfa Romeo Montreal.
Oh yes, look at the
there
front.
you
Okay,
go.
this one is a mistake because they removed the eyelid, right?
Yeah, the eyelets on the
Eyelid,
the headlights.
Yeah, but I just love this color. I love this color. Alfa Romeos look good in red. Like, I don't care if people say Alfa Romeo looks good in red. You know, it's like
it's the color of passion. It has to be red.
red.
Oh,
So
man.
the Alfa Romeo Montreal or Datsun 240Z. Both
Datsun 240Z.
equally handsome looking cars.
Datsun 240Z. Even though
The
I'm a
Z.
hardcore Alfa Romeo fan, I would take the Datsun 240Z. Because remember what I said about
Wow.
JDMs? You remember what I said about JDMs and as opposed to Continentals when it comes to upkeep, restoration, maintenance, ownership? I don't think I could afford to run and maintain an Alfa Romeo Montreal as much as I desire it and as much as I'm lusting and drooling now over the car. I would take a Datsun 240Z. I would take a Datsun 240Z if only because I almost had the chance to buy one many years ago and I passed it up. So that's, you said earlier, you said, you asked me what car I regret selling. This is one of the cars I regret not buying. Only because I could have afforded it, but it would have beggared me completely. Because back at that time, you know, with the salary I had, the overheads that I had on a monthly basis, my monthly overheads, to buy this car, I would have had about maybe 30 ringgit in my pocket left every month.
Oh, no.
And when you buy a car like that and you can't even afford petrol, how, you know? So thankfully, you know, sorry, I haven't finished the story yet. And when I declined, the seller sold it to somebody who shipped it to Australia, and the car left the country. So there's no way I could ever get this car back again. It left the country.
Oh,
And
what color was it?
It's the one that got away. Sorry?
What color was it?
Red.
Red. Wow.
It was red. It was chili red. And it could have been mine for 19,000 ringgit at the time, just 19,000 ringgit. And cash though. But back in the 80s, 19,000 ringgit is still a lot of money.
Yeah.
You could,
probably a quarter of a apartment. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And the guy knew that it was a lot of money and no loan to speak of, no way you could get a loan for the car. So he agreed to let me have the car for a certain bit of money down, followed by a whole bunch of post-dated checks for 1,000 ringgit each, which he would keep and then bank in himself every month as like a personal friend hire purchase thing. And I still couldn't afford it because, like I said, it would have left me with 30 ringgit in my pocket. And you should not be a slave to your car, no matter what car. I've always believed that. Yeah, you should not hurt yourself just for your car. But it was a Datsun 240Z, and it was in brilliant condition. So I have never even thought of owning an Alfa Romeo Montreal, but I definitely did think about owning a Datsun 240Z. So yeah, sorry. As much as I love Alfa Romeos, I would have to go with the Datsun 240Z because it's the one that got away.
You give up the pasta for sushi. Sushi
that's true.
Sushi with sausages on it because it's a British sausage. British sushi.
The history of the Datsun 240Z. I'm not saying that the history of the Alfa Romeo Montreal is any less interesting, but the history of the Datsun 240Z is also just amazing. Just amazing.
I'm just looking at the chat right now because I can't cast any posts. It looks like a landslide lah. Z.
Oh,
and then
there you go.
Occasional Montreal, and then Z. Alpha and Z again.
Don't forget the Montreal was a 4-liter V8, if I'm not mistaken. So that's a big engine to have in an Alfa Romeo.
Yeah.
The ownership experience, or what you get from it, it might not be actually worth it. But it is a beautiful car. You should see it with those the eyelashes on the eyebrows.
Yeah. I just couldn't find one with red color. So
It's fine.
Yeah.
Anybody can Google that.
I think the best part of the car is actually the ass, man. Look at that.
Look at that. The centralized twin tailpipes. So beautiful.
It's so soothing for people who need symmetry.
Yeah. Many people actually said this was Alfa Romeo's Miura. Because it's that beautiful.
Okay.
This was Alfa Romeo's Miura.
Well, in my pick, I this one I have to agree with Chris because I have a soft spot for the Z, man.
The
look
Z
at the
car.
And it's like you think of this is the times was 1970s, and maybe compared to times today, they have rudimentary tools and look at that.
Rudimentary tools in terms of car design is absolutely right, and that's why
even the assembling everything, Yeah,
exactly,
I got to feast my eyes on one day I was parking my Mini down in Damansara Heights, and then there's a guy that parked the silver Z next to me. I was like, oh my god! Like I wait for the owner to came out. I'm like, dude, this beautiful car. You're a beautiful guy. They look at my Mini. He's like, oh, I like your Mini. I'm like, you want to swap car with me? He's like, no.
No. That would have been my first question as well. Really? You want to swap?
No, I think I'll give you the Mini for the Datsun. I hope my Mini don't hear it.
Never diss your car in front of your car while you're driving. You will regret it.
Yeah. Okay, for this round, me and Chris agree. We both look at the Datsun, especially for me. I'm a sucker for silver. It's beautiful.
It's gorgeous. Yeah. Just gorgeous.
I can't wait to detail that car. So if you want, guys, I don't know when we can detail, but if you want to, I'm editing a video. We're going to launch one of the details we did before. It's a Polo GTI. But if you want to get future videos on the detailing, when we detail the car, subscribe to my channel, Thomas Yap, right? The Datsun, that would be a beautiful car to detail, yeah. Okay, round three. Last
fight.
one. Okay, now let's go to another level, another stratosphere of classics. Again, it's not about, it's just like, what car would you be? Let's say one day you wake up and then someone comes to you and like, Chris, I'm going to give you this car because I don't think anyone can take care of these cars. Okay, because I'm really old and I can't take care of cars anymore. I'm going to give you these cars, right?
Thomas, that's happened to me already.
Already, yeah?
Somebody has actually emailed me and said, can he give me his car because he's just not using it anymore? and he knows that I will love it and take care of it. That's actually happened.
Wow. Okay.
So
Imagine.
maybe. Okay.
Imagine if it's these two cars. Okay.
Here we go.
Ready? Whoa.
Yes.
I think you know what car it is already.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Look at the wheel caps. Oh my god. And that.
Three drops of pee just came out.
3 drops of pee. Hey, get the Inca pad. No, put the Inca pad down there.
Yeah. Look at that.
Oh, yo.
Okay.
Okay, we're gonna just in silence adore
Admire
this.
You know sorry. It's just so amazing. I knew this car was gonna come up soon. So, excuse me. This is the first it's a 2000 GT, right?
Yep.
Yeah. This is the first $1 million Japanese classic car.
On the auctions. I think
it's the first Japanese car to actually hit $1 million at auction. Look
the money
at
shot.
that.
That's the money shot.
Oh, look at that.
It's like a Japanese Muira.
Yeah. What? Muira?
For me, like okay, of course not Muira, Miura,
Shit! I thought you meant Proton Muira. I was like,
no. No, it's a Japanese Miura. Yeah,
Miura.
Okay. In terms of the ethos,
Sorry.
Legendariness of it.
Absolutely. 2000.
And look at the curve, the front and the pop-up lights. Like, oh.
Thomas, I saw this car live in Japan, and if you think it looks beautiful in pictures, you need to see this car live. It is just unbelievable, and it's actually one of my dream cars. So I don't know what you've chosen for the second car, but like TJ said just now, whatever you choose next also maybe is irrelevant. So you might as well not just show it. I love this car. A little bit of trivia for you. It was used in the James Bond movie, the You Only Live Twice, where Bond went to Japan, right? And Toyota shipped over 2 of these cars for them to use in Japan.
Wow.
For that movie. But Sean Connery couldn't fit in the car. He could not fit in the car, even as a passenger, not a driver, as a passenger, because in the movie, he's actually being driven around in this car by a lady agent, Japanese lady agent. So they sent the cars back to Toyota. Toyota chopped off the roof so that Sean Connery could fit in it. And that's how the 2000 GT convertible was born.
Wow. Thanks to Sean Connery and his
genetics.
To the
late, great Sean Connery. We would not have had the 2000 GT convertible if not for him. Because he couldn't fit in that car. So they had to chop off the roof so that Sean Connery could fit inside. And that's how the convertible variant was born.
Nice.
What a beautiful car. I mean, it looks Italian, doesn't it? It looks Italian. Just look at it. Yeah. It's like
I will go back a few pictures. I mean,
look at the engine. Look at the engine. Oh my God. Look at that. Oh,
Mamma Mia.
Mamma Mia.
Like,
Italian
it's like
people
having
Mamma Mia.
having sashimi on your pasta,
Sashimi on your pasta being eaten off a naked woman's body. Look at that. Again, what I said earlier about the 240Z, earlier than the 240Z, this car comes from a time when Japan was sort of copying designs because they really didn't have any idea of car design. So they were copying designs, and oh my God, they copied such a right one when it came to this. Obviously inspired by the 250 GTO Ferrari. Yeah. Obviously.
But look at it, like this is 1960s, late 1960s or early 1970s.
Yes.
And look at rudimentary, compared to today, rudimentary like manufacturing tools. Look at the windscreen. It's curved in front. And
it's
how they do it?
It's like speechless. Gorgeous.
Anyways, this one goes for auctions at $1 million plus US dollars.
First, and it's not recently. It was some years ago when $1 million US dollars was worth a lot more. $1 million US dollars. First car to do it. First Japanese car to do it. Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. Going against.
Would it be this car or another car? Like someone says, Chris, I cannot take care of my cars anymore. I'll need to pass it to somebody to be a custodian to my car, right? Okay. Or maybe they say, so you pick either these 2 cars. I need a custodian.
Trepidation.
Oh,
Oh, no!
what is this? What is this?
Is
The
that a
Lancia?
Delta
What kind of
Integrale?
Lancia is this? Hey, Bobby, you
Is that a
here,
Delta
Bobby?
Integrale? Is that a Delta Integrale?
Wait, Bobby, you here? Bobby's here. Okay.
Yeah, he is.
Okay.
He said 2000
Okay.
GT is the prettiest car.
So is it a Lancia?
Japanese car.
What kind of Lancia is this? Oh, it has to be
Delta?
equivalently.
Yeah. No! Okay, it was not a
okay,
Delta
this is
Integrale.
recently. I couldn't find a better picture because I only can find one on Sotheby's auction.
The fact that it's on Sotheby's auction site, you know already it's gonna be oh man.
It's the
Okay.
307, the legendary
Yes,
car that
look at
took
that.
down the what?
Look at
The Audis, took down the Audis, the
Yeah.
stupid Quattros, and then this guy and the
the stupid
Look
Quattro
at
and
that
Bobby's not gonna like you very much for that. Look at this car.
the front
It's
is so
beautiful.
masculine. It's like whoa. So
Four round lights like a KE70.
But it's the I don't know. It's also the story behind this car, man. When they took down Audi, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
They needed something to kick some butt, and then they came up with this. They came up with this.
Bobby is swearing in the chat already.
I died.
And this is how the real
Yes,
opens up.
this is how the back. I was just gonna private chat you to show how the backside opens. Okay, that came out wrong.
No, great minds think alike.
Ah,
Great minds think alike, right? Yeah.
absolutely. I
Okay,
mean, look
and,
at this thing. Beautiful.
So they have the
beautiful.
370 Rally Strada. That means road.
Yeah.
So it's built for the road. This one. Of
Yep,
course, they
yep.
built very little of them.
Homologated. Yeah, it was homologated. Just like the Audi
Homologated.
Quattro.
Both of them are highly sought after in the auctions
Yes.
market.
Like,
Both
even
red
the
color, both very sexy. One very
RS200.
curvy and sexy, one very squarish and masculine. So if you like the curvy or the athletic type, both are. I mean,
Okay, you pick first. I think I've picked the first three first. You pick first. Oh, is that not allowed? Because okay. Sorry.
I'm
Okay.
like Bobby right now. It's tough for me because I love the 2000 GT's look. I mean, you take this car down to a car meet, right?
Yeah.
Okay, no offense to younger guys, but the guys who like the C63s and the M4s, they'll run towards the Ferraris and stuff, right? But
those owners
guys
will run to you.
who run to say, oh my god, the 2000 GT, like what? Toyota Toyota, what the?
You show up with a 2000 GT at any car show. Okay, I'm exotics, supercars, whatever, any car gathering. You show up with a 2000 GT. Nobody's gonna pay attention to any of the other cars there. Honestly.
Oh no! Just look at the curves.
It's just unbelievable.
And the rims, man.
Yeah. Really.
Okay, let's look at the chat.
package.
Okay. Ask me. I would. I'll pick the Lancia because
Really?
yes, because of the story. The story of
Yes, the history of it.
You know how the Italians being Italians. Delaying this. I mean, you can watch the episode with Jeremy Clarkson on Grand Tour and how they do what they do best, being an Italian.
Italian. Okay, I'm not looking at the comments because it's going crazy. But I'm gonna choose straight off the bat. I'm taking the 2000 GT. Really, because I'm thinking as much as I love Italian cars, and how I chose the 240Z just now. The Lancia is amazing, but don't forget, you said hand me the keys here in Malaysia, right? Where am I gonna get parts for a Lancia 037 Rally Stradale special homologated model? Whereas a Toyota 2000 GT is still just a Toyota. Think about it that way. It's a Toyota. And I think ownership is gonna be okay. Let's not even talk about the cost, okay? Ownership experience. This is a car I've actually seen in real life. I've never seen a Lancia 037 in real life. I've seen the 2000 GT in real life. You were talking just now about the Lancia having the history, the background to it. I think Sean Connery's story on the 2000 GT is well worth the price of admission. So
yeah, it makes sense.
I would definitely eyes closed go with the 2000 GT. Even if you had put the Montreal here instead of the Rally Stradale, I would still go for the 2000 GT.
Wow.
If you had put the 240Z here next to the Stradale, next to the Toyota, I will still take the 2000 GT. There's just something so iconic about that car. Even though, like I said, the 240 was the one that got away, and I would love to someday reacquire it or have the opportunity to reacquire it. You give me a choice between these two, I would take the 2000 GT.
Oh,
yeah, definitely.
I
have so many models of the 2000 GT, in 163, 143, 164, 143.
I know it's really weird to say this. As much like the E-Type's design, I think the 2000 GT actually feels more soothing to the eye. For some reason, just a bit, it's like a slightly more refined.
Bobby said, I forgot I can't fit into a 2000 GT. I'll make myself fit. I'll
Chop my leg off.
fit. Yes, somehow I'll make myself fit.
Go on, take the saw, cut it off.
Once you see this car in real life, consider yourself blessed, because you will not believe how beautiful this car is. The proportions are perfect, and actually more than once I've seen it in real life in Japan at the Tokyo Auto Salon and also at Tokyo Motor Show, and also in the parking lot. A bit of trivia here for you, Thomas. The media in Japan get paid a heck of a lot more than the media in Malaysia, because that parking lot was media only, and there was a Toyota 2000 GT in the parking lot. A media only parking lot. Yeah, we showed up by bus, of course, from our hotel, but we parked just behind the media. Buses parking is always at the way at the back. We parked just behind the media only parking, and there was a Toyota 2000 GT in the parking lot, a yellow one.
It must be drooling.
The host had to drag us away, had to drag me away at least from the parking lot.
Come on, let's go.
We're here for the Tokyo Motor Show, we're not here for the Tokyo Motor parking lot.
Let's look at the chat. Okay, Bobby, let's look at so many. It's a landslide lah. 2000 GT it seems to be
so
the
many
majority.
2000 GT.
Yeah.
Bobby says Lancia. Bobby said Lancia.
All right, Bobby says Lancia.
Yeah, Bobby said Lancia.
Lancia. Yeah. Okay.
But
Wow,
no,
a lot of 2000 a lot of 2000 GT.
It's a super iconic car, and I think we can relate to it more.
Mike
also 2000 GT. There you go. Landslide 2000 GT. It's just amazing. It's just so amazing.
Because if now I think, look at this too, right? I think the better looking car is a 2000 GT. It's a better looking car.
It's so beautifully made. Yeah. And again, in Malaysia, I think a Toyota ownership is going to be a lot easier than a Lancia ownership.
That's true also.
Yeah. Very nice picks.
I think the Lancia will be more of a hardcore car to drive, and the 2000 GT will be more of a cruiser. But both, don't know lah. I don't know lah. Look at these two. Both also so good. I think either way you pick one, right? For me lah, I picked two also. I regret, but you just pick with the one you're happier with.
Yeah. It's got that's the basis of old school and classic car ownership. It has to tug at your heartstrings. It has to appeal to you to this level where you can actually go crazy just looking at it in a photo. Yeah, if it appeals to you that way, and it doesn't matter what's the car, what's the brand, where it's from in this world, if it appeals to you in some way, that's the one you gotta get.
Yeah,
definitely.
This is the money shot for me here. The Lancia.
It's gorgeous. When you put that just now, I thought it was the Delta Integrale, which is also one of my favorite cars.
I purposely cut out everything just to make some mysteriousness. But this is the money shot for the 2000 GT.
Look at that. Ridiculous. So beautiful.
Ridiculous.
And it wins because it's got pop-up headlights. Any car with pop-up headlights is instantly cooler.
Instantly cooler. Yeah. All right. So, anyways, we're done with Dude, Where's My Car?
Yeah, man. Awesome.
Yeah, I don't know what to say, but it's been 2 hours, 20 minutes. Oh my god, this is the longest talk I ever had, man.
I'm so sorry. I didn't even look at the clock.
It's
more than 2 hours.
110 people still watching with us.
We said it was going to be 2 hours.
Yeah, I'm glad that we can entertain you guys. And I hope you guys stay safe at home. So yeah, we really ended this show. Before we end, I think I just want to urge everybody to stay safe. I know we got our MCO, EMCO, relaxing, whatever, but stay safe. Let's be responsible. Take care of ourselves. Kita jaga kita. And I just a shout out. If you're watching here and you're safe at home, means you're somewhat comfortable. There is this app out there called Kita Jaga Kita app. I'm gonna just suggest, if it's just a suggestion. I mean, I do it. Reach out to someone who needs help. $50, $20 go a long way for some people. If you can help somebody, do so. Times are tough. But thanks for watching. And I just want to say, Chris, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you, Thomas.
I really
it was
enjoyed
a
my
pleasure.
time. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Same here, man.
Whether
It's
it's talk
awesome.
here or not, I totally enjoy your company, and I'm just so happy to
Same.
be able to bring you on board and stress you out a little bit on dude, where's my
No,
car?
it was an awesome. That's the kind of stress I wish I had more of.
And
Absolutely.
I you know what, the Datsun, when EMC is over, I hope that if permitted by the owner and Ryson, I'd love for you to come over and take a look at it, the red color Datsun.
That might bring me to tears, Thomas, because that's the one that got away. Remember, that actually might bring me to tears.
Man. Okay.
Yeah, and I'm hoping that you will be on my show. In future, Thomas, I hope you'll be on my show as well. Earlier you showed the photo of the Tuesday talk show, crisscrossed. I would love for you to be a guest. I would love for you to be a guest on my show sometime soon, folks. Please tune in again next week. This time on Horizon's Facebook page, and also it's going to be linked to my YouTube channel. It's a new show, and Thomas, you shall be a guest soon. You can count on it, man. I love talking to you about cars, bro. Really, honestly.
Let's do it.
So passionate.
Look at your smirk on your face, man.
That's the smirk. That's the smirk you gotta have. Yeah. Because earlier the photo we used, people say my face too bulat. So okay, I use this one.
All right, man. Hey, thanks for joining.
Okay,
it's getting a little bit late. Let's go get some rest. But thanks for joining me again one more time. Looking forward to the show on Tuesday. Crisscross Tuesday, guys. Horizon page. It's not
you guys there.
Page. Yeah. Okay, let's call it a night, guys.
Good night. Good night, everyone. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining.
All right. Any last words? Anything? No?
Stay safe.
All right. With that, let's have a good night. Thanks for watching, guys. Stay safe. Love you guys. See ya.